This is international soccer celebrity Chris Doran, and you're listening to ACES Radio.
Previously on ACES Radio.
Hello? Hello? Guys, are you there? Hello?
Alex?
Hello?
Did we lose Alex Standing?
Ah, shit.
This is the last season of Aces Radio. Who gives a shit?
I told you last week that we would be coming for those penises, and I told you that we would be cutting off all your penises. We'll see you backwards-ass country farmer college football chode smokers in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, those penises belong to us.
Well, look at this fuck boy. I don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care. I only bring on people who say nice things about me, Draft. You know that.
Silliness.
In the UK, MLS is basically Benny Hill playing soccer.
You know, struck your fancy, as you would say in the old country, I believe. I struck my fancy, good boy.
That's like hearing myself.
Dude, a lot of people in Columbus are ashamed to be Crew fans. It's kind of our universal experience. Guilty as charged, my love.
Do you ever look at America as a soccer country and think, just go ahead and take all your pills, whatever that was?
The documentary about your time on ACES Radio, that sounds amazing.
You do not want that. We want to get you to bed, even though you've just done about a bottle's worth of uppers. Drabs, if I told you there was a cure for the scourge, that is a lot of hard work.
Is it being Anthony Precourt?
John, I'm going. I want to see Skeets McTaz beat Cincinnati McTaz. I've heard of R2D2.
RJD.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Who are the artists? Can you say that?
Roy Lichtenstein.
Shut the fuck up.
And representing Cincinnati, Thomas Kincaid. Oh, fuck right off. And unbeaten since July 17th, motherfuckers. If you sign up for the glory, you have to sign up for the work.
If we make the playoffs, it should just be a white banner with the word playoffs
We
on
did it. What if that waffle man just walks in, but there's a human dick coming out of the costume?
Oh, no.
You can sit on one of those like donuts for men who have hemorrhoids.
The survey says licking butts. That's disgusting. Oh, motherfucker. Haters will say that the three-way man dog is fake. Ooh, I love it. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? You idiot. You ignorant slut. Little hot smasher lad, as they call him.
Here he goes, little hot stuff.
Filipino prison boy.
And while that
Filipino prison boy, what?
Like work the noodle to the middle there?
I really don't want to do this show tonight.
Licking its lips for a third straight. That's it. Forecaster for this week.
Hey guys, it's me, Bobby Carpenter. Anybody ever been on a road trip and not had Twizzlers? Exactly. Everyone
I think
eats
you're thinking
Twizzlers.
of the mutant from Goonies.
No, John, it's me, Bobby Carpenter. John Bobby Carpenter, isn't that awesome?
That's pretty dang cool.
Shall we begin?
You are now listening to an altogether less fashionable variety of soccer podcast. Broadcasting live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to
ACES Radio.
I got the new wings with the Zima flavor sauce.
I've given this no thought whatsoever.
Hashtag probably right in cock.
They're in your face, they're a little different. I think it's super cool. I love them. Jamie, you ignorant slut.
Hold on to your butts.
Now, here are your hosts, Morgan Hughes, John Zadar, and Darby Schnarpus.
Yeah, baby. Ignorant sluts, shitlords, and celebrity fans alike. If you're hearing sound of my voice, it's already too late. You're tuned in to the latest, and possibly last episode of ACES Radio. It's a Buffalo Bills podcast only. Coming up tonight on the program, Cruisers FC say hell yeah as they take 3 points on the road against the Fuss Babies of Cincinnati. The panel will discuss cracking the code. Tonight it makes its triumphant return as we try to decipher what Jacob Meyer means when he underscores 25 times. Man, balls are back, Drabs, and they're thrown about as liberally as ever. I welcome you back to the show, my friend. I assume you were in Cincinnati this weekend because you're a true boy. And on segment 2, the rarest of all rare treats, as a celebrity guest, unlike any other, which we don't mean as a compliment, stops by the show. Cassandra Ferris is here, bitches. She volunteered to be on ACES Radio. What's wrong with her? Maybe she's mentally ill. On segment 3, we head live on Periscope for your hot takes, aka the battle for the grand prize. Sweet mother of God. A log jam at the top of the standings this week, fellas, as users A, B, C, D, F, and a bunch of West Ham fans at the old horse barn are here to do stuff. Prediction scores, prediction updates, Cruisers versus Bridgeview Fire, Hang On Tour, the Ags Attack War, and so much fucking more. Brought to you as always by benevolent corporate overlord sponsors Blood and Urine, and broadcasting live from the beautiful front room here at Endeavor Brewing Company. My name is the continuing champion, Morgan Hughes, a.k.a. the number one hangsy boy, and I'm joined, as always, by AAA, the absentee amateur artist himself, Captain Jean-Luc, the wet boy Zadar, and everyone's favorite ancient ruin, Darby, the 40-year-old man-child Schnarfus. Fellas, mapaches, lads from different dads, brothers from different mothers, and amigos, take Guillermo. How in the hell have you been?
I'm realizing as we have these 4-minute summaries of the previous episode, there's no reason for us to record for 3 hours. You could just sit here for 5 minutes and make stupid noises, and we could just leave. And the show would basically be no different.
Are you talking to me specifically, or
you
the royal you?
John can roast you.
You didn't
make
get
stupid
that he
noises.
was talking to you as he stared deep into your eyes the entire time he was saying that?
It was uncomfortable, so I didn't look back, John.
You didn't notice when I licked the microphone?
I did. And
I think that I've established the pattern of the mixes at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really there's usually one good joke from you, one good joke from me, and then 3 minutes and 35 seconds of him making weird fucking noises.
Right.
And then maybe something from the guests. So if you and I just want to go ahead and get our good jokes out of the way, then we can leave and he can make all the noises, and then Darren can mix it together and honestly, that'll be it.
We've got it. We've got a formula now. So
Right.
That'd be disappointing.
We don't need to
yet
do 3
accurate.
hours to get through our 2 good jokes and a bunch of weird Morgan noises.
I mean, you're not wrong, John. But I would appreciate it if you would lick my balls. Moving on. Cruisers FC. No, we have housekeeping. That's right. 3 pieces before we get in the meat and potatoes of ACES Radio. Congrats, first and foremost. We didn't do a show last week, so we didn't get to say congrats, but we want to just go ahead and throw this out here. Congrats to former ACES Radio guests of the week, Philip Berkey and Sierra Berhalter, for getting engaged. They got engaged jobs on the field after the game.
you nearly ruined it, from what I understand.
I tried real hard.
Yeah.
That is my place in the
Only
universe.
the second time that you ruined a fun relationship surprise for them.
Yeah. It was like their 1-year anniversary, and they were coming on here. And he's like, don't tell Sierra. And I was like, hey, Sierra, you're going to be on the show? Don't say that? Oh, okay. Well, they got engaged on the field, Drabs, and they are the first of their kind. They are the first ACES Radio guests to get engaged. Hopefully not.
I mean, normally this podcast
we don't actually
ruins
know
relationships. Yeah, so just
could've
heads
been
up to anybody
there
who might be
been other
coming.
guests that were just rightfully not feeling the need to inform us that they've become engaged.
I don't know about that, John.
Actually, one might consider you the biggest fan of ACES Radio, and during the time you have gone on to get engaged and married.
Oh,
but not to
and soon divorced.
But not to a person who has been on the show, not a guest. I'm talking like 2 guests.
Pam's been on the show a lot.
Yeah, fucking burning pizza in the background. I'm talking like people who are like guests of the week. They're the first of their kind, John. And if you watched, what is that HBO show called? Little Sword Fighter Babies?
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
It just ended.
Little Sword Fighter Babies.
Game of Thrones, that's it.
It just ended 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay, well, I don't watch it, but if you were in that show, they'd call you first of the house. Isn't that what they say?
No,
No?
Of what?
Sometimes it's on in the living room and I see Pam watching it, and I think I know pretty much what's going on. Dragons are, they're dangerous.
Well, that's not false, but...
They'll get you. They're going to fuck you up, even if you're the first house boy. Now, hey, I built this house. First of my clan. What do they call it? You know what I'm saying?
Which part of this is going to go into the mix, Doug?
You know what I'm saying, though. First of his name. Oh, first of his name. That's it,
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're talking about.
Why didn't you fucking fix that?
Because
You
it
should've-
could have made it better to watch you struggle.
All right, I'm a T-baby. You know me.
Yeah, you're a T-boy.
T-boy, yeah.
You got it.
So congrats to Philip and Sierra. You guys are great. Good for you. Philip
they're
was
okay.
blackout drunk this weekend, a Saturday night in Cincinnati. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Was there anybody that wasn't?
You know it's bad if Shrek thinks you're drunk.
I dipped my finger in his cheese.
I think they call that.
And I was
rites of
uninvited
prima
to the
nocta.
wedding.
And it was not a place with
I was
food.
probably
so.
uninvited to the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure Sierra was very happy about that.
She was the
John.
one who uninvited me, yeah.
Yeah,
Second piece of housekeeping, lads. Congrats to ourselves.
Thank you.
No, just hold on, John. Please don't celebrate yet, because it's all of us, except Brent Miller. Brent, you bitch, you horrid bitch. Congrats to ourselves for being the 85th most popular soccer podcast in the United States of America. That's right! Suck my balls, Massive Report! You didn't, you were like, oh, look at us. Here we go. And we were like, oh, look at us, though. And everyone else was like, we are already looking at you, and we don't look at Massive Report. John, your thoughts?
Oh, sorry.
Or Drabs, your thoughts?
Darby, it's my turn to give
Yeah,
thoughts.
go ahead. Go.
Thank you.
Give thoughts.
Imagine how...
Oh, that's right. Yep. Sorry, didn't mean to do it. It's actually the same button. There's a replay button, and here we go.
I mean, I'm just glad that things still come out of my penis. It's not coughing dust every time.
I thought we said it was John's
now we're the
turn.
85th.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
John, your thoughts.
What number are we?
So here's the thing. We're 85th. We're the 85th most popular soccer podcast in the United States of America on Apple Podcasts.
Doesn't sound great.
There are
How many can there possibly be?
Dude, there are like thousands.
Well,
there are thousands.
Are there really?
Yes. And here's the thing.
Think of how much higher we'd be if we had asked for reviews and stuff before this year.
That's sad.
Because that's exactly how you get ranked.
So I don't know, dude. I think it's downloads and whatever the fuck
right, but
it
you
is.
get more downloads by getting ranked, which raises your profile.
Okay,
and
that's
gets you
fine.
recommended
I don't know how
to
science
people.
works, Sean. I'm not a scientist.
No, it's just
Jesus
called marketing.
Christ.
It's fine. It's
I'm
no
just
big
a
deal.
I'm just a boy on the streets. All right, I'm just a boy
lonely
listening to the
tea boy
streets
on the corner.
just a tea baby. So I also looked into it a little further with this company, and they rank
Apple. You've looked into some
no,
things with Apple.
John, just let me finish. So it's all soccer podcasts around the world that are consumed by Americans. So like. There are like fucking 800 Manchester United podcasts, like Everton Blue Babies, Chelsea Hot Boy Smasher
Just
Lads.
keep mixing up the words smasher, hot, and baby.
If you take the only MLS specific podcast, so like you're just covering one specific team, okay? We are the number 5 most popular MLS podcast in America.
Get the
And that is real life. And that is fucking real life. Here's the thing.
Who's above us?
Now, let me say the best part of this. I told Brent this earlier. It's ACES Radio, so there has to be an embarrassing component to this, and there is.
Mass reports about us.
We are the 5th most popular podcast in America for an MLS team, but we are not the first crew podcast listed. We are the 2nd most popular crew podcast.
Podcast for Columbus.
Soccer Speakeasy.
You
dirty bitches! Fuck you!
It's
go
the
to
real
Suspense.
news one, of course. Yeah,
The one that you can listen to in a half hour also. So it's
the
not
one that you can
painful.
listen to with your kids and grandma.
So it goes a Sounders podcast, an NYCFC podcast, Soccer Speakeasy, I believe a Timbers podcast, and then ACES Radio.
Do you get like statistics like how close are we? Do you know that?
I don't.
We
But
can't, like, do a drive
We're
to,
new
like-
on the chart, and I found where Massive Report was, and it was not on page 1. And they have fallen. They have fallen 1 spot since the last rankings, and we're brand new on the rankings, and we're 85th.
Oh, we're just getting picked up.
That's right. They're just now noticing us.
Where
4
do they
years
pull
later.
this data from?
The internet.
Morgan's ass, most likely.
All I know is we're not even the best in our own market, and yet we're top 5. Moving on.
Same could be said for both like the New York teams
and the Columbus Crew. Just period. The team. Shout out to Alex Crognell, John Kempen, who has a giant mouth, and Will Trapp for giving beer to the lads who took the bus onto the Cincinnati game. That was good.
One of many buses.
The crew care about us, and that's fine.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on, Cruisers FC taking on the FC Fuss Boys from the greater Kentucky area. A formation you're familiar, whatever the fuck. 4-3-2-1, doesn't matter. Starters, Aloy Room and net, Awful, Mensa, Williams, Maloney across the back, Trapp and Artur in the middle, Diaz, Sanch, and Mukhtar on the wings and attacking mid. Your boy Jossie's artists up top. Your subs, Argudo, Spanish for Argudo. For Diaz in the 54th, he came out with an ouchie. A calm for Mukhtar in the 67th, and Crognell for Williams in the 80th. Cards, Maloney picks up a yellow in the 31st, Awful in the 43rd, Artur in the 62nd, and Mensa with the dumbest yellow card of the day, which leads him to be suspended for accumulation for next week. In the first minute of stoppage time, your goals, Jossie Zardes gets us off the schneid in the 22nd. He scores again for a brace in the 33rd. Luis Diaz in the first minute of stoppage time, the first half, and then Kakuta Mane, former crew legend, in the 89th minute makes it 3-1 final score. Drabs total domination from the Crew. So not much to cover that hasn't been talked about already this week on 100 different and less popular Crew podcasts than our own. But 2 goals for Gyasi Zardes puts him at 11 on the season, hitting double digits in a season where a lot of people have complained about his quality, particularly on Big Soccer, and particularly in the recent home games against Toronto and Cincinnati. How good and how necessary and how timely was this performance from Gyasi Zardes?
Oh, I think this was exactly what he needed. And, there was a whole, did he get sat midweek just for rest, or was this a little bit of a reset and reminder for him? It feels like he might have taken it as a bit of a kick in the butt because his finishes were great. He had a header on a corner that should have been his first goal of the game. He was sharp. He was making great runs.
Good hold-up play.
He put the ball down instead of skying everything. Yeah, his hold-up was great. He was making good passes. He did everything you wanted from him in this game, basically. He was even tracking pretty far back on defense in the second half to try and help out. So, yeah, he did it all. And he got fantastic service from the right-hand side all night. I mean, they had no answer for Awful and Diaz. They basically just did whatever they wanted.
Yeah. Interesting observation from Drubly Scrinfors here, Sean. How much do you chalk up this performance to the Crew being good and possibly figuring out their shit, and how much you chalk it up to FC Cincinnati being one of, if not the worst teams in league history?
Yeah, I think it's a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
I'm not overly excited by any of the performances because it is a historically bad team as far as like the history of the league is concerned. So it was exciting and fun, and I loved every minute of it. But I'm not like going to necessarily be like, this is a sign, this is a playoff team, which I've seen a couple people try and say on Twitter and stuff this week that the Crew are suddenly now a playoff team, like in form wise, obviously not actual like going to make the playoffs. But I'm sorry, but like beating the shit out of like one of the worst teams in the history of your sport on this continent is not suddenly make you like a contender for the cup. So. It's great. I would like to see him replicated against some teams that have backlines that know what they're doing. But it was good for him to show up at the time that he did because we needed him to. And I would have liked to have seen him get that hat trick, but I'm really proud of the shot that Diaz took to score that goal. It's a shot that we haven't really seen our wingers be confident enough to take in the last 2, 3, 4 years. So.
And he could have easily gone, Jossie's sitting on a brace, let's feed him until he gets that third. But he didn't. He took. I mean, honestly, the guy leaves the match in the 54th minute because of a little ouchie. I think they said it was like a soft tissue injury, which is like, I don't know what the percentage of the buildup of the human body is, but like that's most of the human body is soft tissue.
It's not bone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a bone break. That's like a hockey thing where like it's a lower body injury. Like anything below my penis, of which there is much. Most of it is below the penis.
Yes, there is much below your penis.
Yeah. But Luis Diaz, a goal and assist in 54 minutes, and just like you said, I don't know who said it, but like his skill was unsolvable from an FC Cincinnati perspective. They didn't know how to deal with Awful. They didn't know how to deal with Diaz. This is a team where you're like, I'm reminded of when Ohio State beats like a directional Michigan school, and somewhere where like Michael Cohen goes to law school, and you're like, why does this fucking Michigan school have a goddamn college football team? And they beat them like 85-0. But you're like, oh, look at you! Like, what are we supposed to do? Not beat a shitty team by 85 points?
Well, we didn't do that at home,
right?
So, I mean, it's a step up. You're right, John. Like this shouldn't be a cause to especially celebrate. But I do appreciate that they put forth much more of an effort on the road than they did at home.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them continue that effort in the second half.
Yeah. The way they took their foot off the gas was disappointing. The first half was the best half we probably had all year.
Why was it disappointing to you? We were up 3-0.
Because every time we lay back, things go to hell.
But if you're up 3-0, why the fuck does it matter? You're going to win.
Well,
Would
yeah,
you
but
be mad at?
you don't invite the pressure and the attacks and the chances, though. You just keep pushing it on. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious to me for a good portion of the second half that we were like passing around just to pass around.
Yeah.
And we were like not trying to advance the ball up the field, which is just frankly dangerous. I mean, you saw it. We started getting a little bit cocky. You saw it when Mensah tried to do some cheeky shit there on the end line, and what's his name got the ball, and Aloy had to rush out and clean the shit up. That's just ridiculous, nonsensical shit. Don't be doing that.
Speaking of someone that acclimates to MLS faster than anticipating, Luis Diaz, Aloy Room has come in and just been.
He's a goalie.
He looks,
not a different game.
yeah, but he still
game.
looks like he's been here for a minute.
I don't think there's any acclimation period to
Well, you're
goalie
wrong, John.
like there
How
is
dare
other
you.
positions.
Well, let's talk about him in greater detail. Thoughts on the fight that erupted after the Mane goal in the 89th?
Where was the ref? What was the ref doing? Why is he not getting fined or fired or suspended?
He was
awful
the ref was weird
all
because he
game.
jumped in.
He
early.
ran in and then he stepped
then-
back out.
yeah.
And he's fucking standing like 10, 15 yards away watching shit go down, and then he like kind of comes back in again once it's already kind of stopped. Like I don't.
So I saw
understand.
somebody explaining that refs are actually taught to back out of the fray so that they can watch and get names and numbers for disciplinary
So
action.
who's supposed
You've got an
It's too,
AR.
they said it's like too hard to see when you're in the fray.
There's fucking 5 refs, including one upstairs with a bunch of television screens.
Right. Yeah, if you
So-
think there's like red card issues, that's literally what VAR is for. So
don't
I
disagree.
would have him
That's
get in
just
there
the
and stop
explanation
it.
that they're giving.
I've never seen. I mean, I don't know who told you that. I've never seen a referee do that.
I told him that.
I especially
Well, that
it was
explains it.
Yeah.
especially dangerous in the goal because at one point Mensah was physically entangled in the net
Yeah.
and getting shoved around, and
Oh,
somebody
no.
could
Like
get
4 different
really
players
hurt
at
in
once.
that contact.
Oh no! Somebody was in a net. Oh no!
I mean, she might like
A lot
it,
of
I don't
hand
know,
wringing
but-
there. Like first of all, who fucking cares? I love it when any player goes and tries to like pick up a ball and like rush it to midfield. They're not the team that's going to be kicking the ball back off. Like anytime I see somebody go like aggressively at a ball that's been kicked over a goal line and into a net, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, here we go. I want to see more fights. Let's fight. I grew up going to the outer rim, man. I want to see like drunken. I want to see people fighting with pool cues. Give me that pool cue back. No, but you lost. Ooh, look at me. That's what I want to see.
A lot of
Travis.
talking in this fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the other side of the pool table.
I think the thing I liked best actually was, so since you mentioned Room, him just going in and grabbing Waston, like, who's the biggest fucking dude out here? I'm going to wrap him up and drag him out of the goal.
Yeah, if there's one guy that
was
just
pretty
doesn't
boss.
like my dog is 4 pounds, little hot baby Gary. He has no idea how big he is. He tries to attack German Shepherds on the reg.
Yeah, that was like awful in that fight.
Right. Like, talk about someone who doesn't know their own size. Like, pretty much don't fuck with that guy. Or like anyone who fucks with, furthermore, Jonathan Mensah. Like, he's a giant beast of a man that wears a fucking child's small jersey just to show off his, like he gives away his jersey every week. He's like, first of all, hashtag all glory to God, which I'm like, okay, fine. But then he's like, quote and retweet this. I'm like, I'm not quoting and retweet this. You wear a child's small. Like, only the Beehive can win this and be happy
The entire
about
hive
it.
is clad in his jerseys because they're the only fans that can afford to slip
Okay.
them on.
So let's talk about the atmosphere. We have to talk about this. It was one of the greatest and most hottest and sweetest moments of Crew fandom history. We are really congratulatory to ourselves, and rightfully so. Drabs, you're a lame old person. You did not go to the game.
Right.
So we're going to start with you, and we're going to ask you, how did it sound on TV?
It sounded like there were fans. I'm not going to discuss winning the stands. We won on the field.
Is that right?
That's right.
Darby watched the game
This
with
is great.
his hearing aids out.
I watched the game in my basement. Fine. You want to talk about the fans?
Do you have one of those?
You can stand pat because I was
like-
going to refuse to talk about it too.
I mean,
You're not going to talk about the atmosphere, dude?
No.
all right.
What people? What are
Solidarity,
they? What
brother.
are they
Here we
listening
go.
to the show for? 85th
Well,
most
according
popular
to
soccer
you
podcast.
make me sit through segment 3 every week because that's what people listen to the show for.
we won
apparently.
on the field, and nothing else matters.
Well, I do want. Okay,
I'll talk about how fun
no,
it is
something
to go
else.
to an away
Ladies and
game
gentlemen-
and be back in my own bed the same day. That's pretty fun.
well, I was going to talk about that, but okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Brent Miller, Brent's Bangers.
I'd like
What's
to
that?
not welcome Brent.
Yeah. Brent, you son of a bitch, you dirty butt-licking
We saw
whore.
you on the videos.
Brent's
the hype
Bangers
videos.
has been discontinued.
not
He
good.
hasn't
Is
shown
that
up
right?
for like a month and a half to do it.
I
He doesn't
actually
get to do
have
it
been
anymore.
here, and I've had stuff ready to go.
And
you
what
guys
happened?
just like talk right through it.
Literally, the only thing I've wanted to do the last 4 months is Brent's Bangers.
That's
your
because we
fault.
don't
It's
like
your
you.
fault.
We don't like you, and we don't like
Morgan
your
keeps
stuff.
sending you to buy replacement parts.
Just shout over Morgan as
He
he's
just
making
went home
stupid
that day.
sounds.
That's all he did. He's like, I'm going to go to Target. Ooh, where's my house? Ooh, it's on the way to Target. Brent, there's been some outrage. There's been some pearl clutching and some hand wringing on the internet.
Butt hurt, Morgan.
Tell us about it.
So apparently, we as Crew fans are very rude people, and we are like one of the least classy fan bases in MLS. There were several complaints of people throwing beer on the family section.
Wait, well, what? That would be. I don't like that. We shouldn't do that. Did that happen?
I don't know. Like they said, it came from the upper deck, so I'm assuming it's just one of those things where ball goes in net and people's hands go up and beer goes flying, and it landed on
Don't
people.
do that. Don't do that.
It's not really an intentional thing.
What
It's
else?
Just like, but also like, oh, you use the F word around the family section. First of all, let's get that out of the way. The away supporter section was right above Cincinnati's family section, which is a terrible fucking idea.
That's the front office problem.
Yeah, don't put the away supporter section right above the family section. It's stupid.
That
was-
we literally can't do anything about
Yeah,
that.
Like that was most of the complaints.
We're gonna
was,
sit you next to
there's
a
family
bunch of
section
children?
Right there. Like, not my fucking problem.
Couple some families in the R section. They aren't complaining.
Right.
Until they got away from the stadium, and then on Twitter they did.
There were also several people who felt it was over the line and extra rude that we were chanting things like "beat the traffic" and USL.
Well, don't leave early then. Don't come from
Also,
USL.
like,
I don't
win the game, and that won't happen.
That's what I said.
Is
I was like,
this-
you don't want to get made fun of? It's pretty simple. You got to win the game.
But isn't this that banter bullshit that all the FCC fans wanted to engage in?
I was
And-
told there
thought
should
so.
be banter.
Thought so.
right? Like this wasn't personal vicious attacks. This is exactly the sort of shit that their fans were asking for all week on Twitter.
But Darby, this was based on the game. They don't want that because it's embarrassing.
Wait, Brent, can I ask you something? I just recently became a Crew fan, so I don't understand a lot of stuff.
As one
Go for it.
T-boy to another.
As one hot baby to another hot boy. So, like, I was told that the whole, like, burning jerseys on, like, a thing, which was an FCC baby pretending to be a Crew baby, and they were like, oh, we own the Bants, and look how we get the banners and look at us. And then when we win the stands, they're like, it was never about that. I'm going to tattletale to MLS on you. Brent, can you please explain why does that happen?
It happens because their team sucks. They're losing, and they don't know how to deal with people beating them.
That's pretty damn.
What was
Though
the-
they lost
should-
all season.
I don't.
They should have learned
I don't
by
understand.
now.
What
you
was
would
the
think.
objective behind burning his own jersey and pretending to be one of us?
They
What
said
was
they
that
were
supposed to do?
They were trying to get us to engage in banter
Like we weren't engaging
because
enough.
we were being too boring of a fan base, and there weren't enough of us.
Wait, which is it? I demand to know if I'm too boring or too aggressive.
Who knows? Who knows? Here's my
I
favorite.
demand something.
Here's my favorite. Also, it shows real class to hear Crew 96 fans chanting USL at FC Cincinnati when they are up by 3 goals. At MLS, is this acceptable of a fan base gloating and jeering?
I mean, that's the least offensive jeering
Isn't that
I've
like the
ever
entire
heard.
point of sports is to like gloat and jeer over the losing side?
I'm
Like,
actually
it
pretty
was-
sure that's exactly what it is.
That is
Yeah,
literally
like,
what competition
it was
is about. Like,
Also, literally just the words like USL. There was also one
Those
that
are
said
letters,
you
first
should
of all.
You
whatever.
should have stayed in USL.
When you spell them, they are words.
First of all, I'd like to say
no,
that we
USL
didn't even.
are still letters.
Nope, they're words.
We didn't even come
They
up
have
with
separate
you
spellings.
should have stayed in USL thing. I've seen like hot takes on their subreddit or on Twitter or something where they were like, we never should have come to MLS.
Right.
We were a good team.
They've said themselves
Yeah.
they should have
Yeah,
stayed
yeah,
in
I've
USL.
seen that too. They're like, "Oh, we were sweet and good and one of the better teams in USL. Why did we do this?"
Yeah, why did we do that? Anyway, so there's been a lot of lot of anger on the internet, which is so the last thing.
Who'd have thought anger on the internet?
I know.
And also, don't bother tattling to MLS because they probably fucking love what happened in the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
We
you
had
kidding me?
2 stadiums, both of which had really good attendance, including really good away attendance.
Yeah,
in a
60,000
very
people
visible
showed up.
fashion.
Don Garber probably printed that tweet off and came on it.
You're thinking of our president, John, and then he signed it and sent it to Canada.
Yeah, like this had everything the MLS wanted. A lot of high stakes. They were like putting out videos. The league was putting out videos, not just the teams. They loved everything about this. So if you want to complain to them and say, "Oh, they were mean and hurt our fifis," you're just going to have to deal with it.
Who would say you hurt my fifis?
No, not a man who's had sex with a woman.
No one, especially not that kind of person.
I'm assuming whoever added MLS about the USL chant probably has not had sex.
Someone who would say you hurt
like
my
a sixth
fifis.
grade girl.
Yeah.
I don't
Definitely
know that for
someone
sure,
who's.
But
That sounds like a tweet Gary would write.
Speaking of Gary the Lion, last thing we talk about, we move on to cracking the code, but there was an event Saturday night at some place in Cincinnati.
The Woodward Theater.
The Woodward Theater. It was completely and totally overtaken by Columbus Crew fans. Even though Skeets McTaz was like the only one who didn't show up.
Right, it was horrible.
Skeets McTag was there, I heard.
No,
and
he was
GC
there.
J-Bag
He
whooped
just
his ass at
he got murdered.
foosball.
Yeah, he lost at FIFA to like a random Cincinnati fan from the crowd.
That's right. They pulled some guy up off the stage after Skeets got beat by like a real player, and they're like, "Well, why don't you play this random person who's like, I don't even know video games," and lost to that guy.
Well, if you remember,
it's not
Skeets
great.
McTaz was an Anthony Precourt signing, so that explains.
Oh my fucking god! That's the word on the street. So, also the word on the street is MLS was, and I just hear things. MLS was super like butthurt with the Cincinnati front office about no one showing up at that event from Cincinnati.
I was going to say, when I looked at Twitter and stuff, it seemed like there wasn't a single Cincinnati person there.
There were
a
about
few.
20.
Yeah, there were a few.
I think they were in the upper deck from what I saw from the pictures.
No, there were more of them in the lower.
But here's the thing,
there were
dude,
only like
like,
20 of them in the building.
I'm not trying to shit on Cincinnati at all. What that does is it highlights like the fact that we have 25 years of fandom here. Like they're
also like MLS like stuff is just like lame notoriously. So why would anyone show up to that?
anytime you go, hey, there's a Crew event and like 25 years worth of fans show up to it, you shouldn't be shocked. Like Cincinnati's been around for 15 months, and they're gonna be great, and they're gonna be fucking great. And 25 years from now, they'll be exactly as powerful as we are as a fan base. But right fucking
that
now,
was like naturally an event that was going to be more highly attended by out of town fans than in town fans. I guarantee it would have been the reverse if it was here.
I don't guarantee
because
that.
there's nothing else for you guys to have done that night, right? You all know where if you go to this thing, you're all going to be there.
I think anytime the Crew does anything, you get like a lot of people that just randomly show up.
The Crew wasn't doing this though. What were they?
I do think it was
still a
Crew
event.
No, I don't believe it.
It was the same kind of attendance that was at season kickoff parties. Like the whole casino night,
Crew fan fest.
But Crew fans,
there was free beer,
90+,
and we showed up.
90+% of those people there were only there because they had to be because they were given free hotel rooms, and part of getting the hotel rooms was you had to go to that thing.
Okay, 90% of the games that we win on the field happen because we scored more goals than the other team. Like you can explain it away, but it is reality that we showed up and we completely fucking annihilated the other team.
Obligated
we won the stands.
There were a lot of
we won the stands, and MLS was pissed off about it. And you can lick my baby balls.
It doesn't sound like they were pissed off that we won the stands. It just sounded like
they
they
were
were pissed off that it wasn't more heavily attended on both sides.
They were pissed off about the
Or on
lack
the
of
other
winning
side.
of stands from the fuss babies. Hey, let's go around the panel. What do we say? And get a color impression.
Maybe next time make it so that they have
Get
to
my
attend
Lano.
that to go to the game the next day or something.
And screw you. I'm going to keep saying like it is weird that they held an event Saturday night when the game was Sunday. For a trip that most people didn't need to overnight it.
And by
right?
weird,
That's-
do you mean awesome? Because it was awesome and it was
No,
fun.
but-
as fuck.
You spent the whole week up to it calling it a dumb, stupid thing that you didn't
And
want
I was
to go
wrong,
to.
dude. I walked in there and it was awesome.
Absolutely great. Like
You were
everybody
happy
that
'cause
I
it was
was
free.
with
Don't
was
just tell
planning
me
on.
on it. I thought it sounded cool, but I
That's
didn't
not
get one
what
of the
I-
hotel rooms.
I don't
so
remember
know.
you saying that, John. I
But yeah,
remember you
like-
saying.
Well, listen
Morgan's
to last
right.
week's show then. Or
You said
years
Morgan
ago.
for Best Friends Club because Morgan's
No.
right about things.
Darby, what do you want to say?
Here's the biggest thing about our
Put the bucket
rivalry
back on.
is that you don't have to go the night before because it's so fucking close. The vast majority of people went down on Sunday who went. So, like, planning an event
Speaking of
on
going
Saturday,
down on Sunday.
you almost had to give
That-
away hotel rooms because
Marchino's
everybody's
bar.
like, nah, I can just get one of the 3 buses
Was the fucking
that were
worst.
going down there.
And yet they did. And yet we still did because we're top babies.
Let's never go there again.
Drabs, your color impression of the match, my friend.
It was gold.
Like gold, like what?
Gold, like not like yellow.
Oh, okay. Brent Miller, you're what are you doing here?
My color
Why do you have a
impression
koozie
is-
on your glass? By the way,
In
What
a
the
room
fuck is
that's
that?
now 50
Right.
degrees, by the way. What the actual fuck? Turn the air conditioning off.
Yeah.
There's a koozie on my glass because they gave it to
Freezing
me
in here.
at the bar, so
Your
I
color
just like,
impression
put it on the cup.
of the match, my friend.
My color impression is yellow.
Yellow, like what?
Yellow like the Columbus Crew, Morgan.
Yellow Beach, Columbus Crew.
Fantastic, John. Your color impression. Of the
My
match.
color impression is silver.
Silver, like what?
Like all of the empty stands at the 70th minute.
You hate to not see it.
Fatality.
I don't know how they come back from that, except like for their next game because they've already exited the stadium.
Some guy on Twitter got pissy with me because I made a comment about that, and I posted a picture of the Bailey because people in the Bailey were leaving.
Yeah.
He was like, "The Bailey doesn't look half empty in this picture," and I was like, "I didn't say the Bailey was. I said the stadium."
The stadium.
And then he was getting even shittier with me, and I was like, "Dude, I don't have to like if reading is so hard for you, why don't you just like get off Twitter because that's what this like website's about." And he was like, I'm not even a Cincy fan. Are you trying to insult me? I was going to be a Crew fan, but maybe not after today."
John!
Oh, no! Okay, guy whose
fan.
bio says he supports all of the Cincy teams, and then he lives in Loveland, which is a suburb of Cincy. Okay, you were going to maybe be a Crew fan?
It was interesting to see all of the
Choke on a choke,
it was
bro.
a work
Jesus.
night. Oh, it was a Sun game. Like it was funny that all of a sudden the
It was a Sun game.
Yeah,
Short for Sunday.
It's short for a game they play under the sun.
SUN, short for Sunday.
no,
Which
like
one are
literally
you-
they blamed the sunshine.
No, it said SUN, short for Sunday,
Oh, okay.
which is still a stupid excuse.
That's true. No,
Right,
I mean,
like-
It was a
less,
Sunday. We had
It's
to
a 6
drive 2
o'clock.
hours to go home afterwards.
less people go to Sunday games. That's not. We
Yeah,
don't.
it
We
also
don't need to
started
debate
at
that.
6 o'clock, so you're fucking fine.
My color is the color.
Yellow Beach, Columbus Crew.
That's right. Drabs, what if I told you there was a cure for the scourge for being 37 minutes into segment 1 and only now getting to cracking the code?
Yellow like what, Morgan?
That's right, Drabs. They say the cure for the scourge, or whatever we're doing, is whatever we're going to do.
Nothing is impossible.
That's not it.
I listened to this Cracking the Code early today, which I never do, and I would like to say that we should skip it.
And now,
I did not listen.
That's right, John. They
An
say
ACES
that was a
radio
hot takes
exclusive.
intro. I'm a dumb man.
Cracking the Code. They say it.
Everything we do is for the city.
What? We explain it.
Who we are is for the city.
You reap the benefits.
What? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yeah!
And it's all for Columbus.
For Columbus, indeed. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls alike, to another edition of Cracking the Code, which was going to be called Greg Explanations, but Greg quit on us like a dirty, dirty bitch. Back to you, Ralph.
Not cool, because I'm always working hard to get you special deals.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Take a breath. This week's Cracking the Code clip comes to us from none other than Jacob_Myers_25, who has the third most popular MLS soccer podcast in the world. He's writing words this week, Sean, about little hot babies who are going to be tearing down buildings. And I says to him, how's that chicken parm sandwich? And he says, gave me diarrhea. Gave me hot diarrhea. I got hot snakes. They're spilling down my inner leg area, right below my wankus. And he says the following to me, which was not appropriate. I said an inappropriate thing, and then he talked about the Crew, which I hated.
I don't understand why this segment's been 37 minutes already, Morgan.
In 3, 2, 1. 2-1.
9 arena district buildings will be demolished next month in anticipation of an October start of construction of the Cruise Stadium. The Downtown Commission unanimously agreed Tuesday to allow stadium developers to raise the buildings on the north side of West Nationwide Boulevard and west of Huntington Park. All the buildings there are owned by the city and are empty. The demolition is the first physical step toward developing the proposed $245 million, 20,000-seat stadium, scheduled to open in summer 2021. We coming for those penises. Hashtag YOLO swag 24/7 blaze.
Whoops.
Let me smash.
Whoops. I left out. We
Jacob
coming
Meyer
for those
went with,
penises in there.
coming for those penises. It's apparently contagious.
Whoops. So, He did not say we coming for those penises. That was Rambo Gooner from
Can
last
we
week.
quote Jacob Myers on the
That was-
record as saying we coming for those penises?
I'm fine with that. That works for me.
You heard it here first. The number 3 soccer podcast in America said we coming for those penises.
I'm sorry. So there was a. No, we don't have to let him know about that.
I've already done it.
Morgan's so happy right now. He's so happy. He's smiling. He's holding his head like he can't contain his happiness.
I never delete the hashtag YOLO swag 24/7 blaze it. Let me smash from it unless it's like last week it was like fuss boys. So I definitely made sure I got to the end of it to delete fuss babies or fuss boys and made it smash again. And I totally did not highlight the we're coming for those penises from the deleting thing. And that was my fault. And the Columbus Dispatch did not say that. And I apologize.
Not on the record, anyway.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jacob. So, Drabs.
Yeah.
There was a press release this week about tearing down shit and not coming for penises, which has already been done. A couple things were released in this that are noteworthy. This is cracking the code. It is our obligation to explain it to the fandom. We are the 5th most popular Major League Soccer podcast in the world. What did you take out of this press release?
I think what I took out of this, and
he's not in the room.
Oh, damn it, he's not in here. That while the lawyers may still be fiddle-dicking around with legal terms and paperwork and shit, I mean, things are happening. You don't tear down buildings unless things are where they need to be, because tearing down buildings costs money.
That's true,
and makes things happen. So this is a really good thing. They're clearing the land and making shit ready for our new stadium, and that's exciting.
Well, I bring it up because there was an August 15th deadline that was set by whom I don't know, but it is passed because it is not. It's past the 15th, and yet there still seems to be progression.
Yeah,
I mean. Listen, Mike A-Race and Andrew Erickson and Colleen Marshall and Doug Adair and Jerry Revish, Andrea Camburn.
He's going to go there.
They've all been reporting recently that the groundbreaking is going to happen in September.
Andrew Erickson has not.
Oh, is that right? What about Colleen Marshall and Andrea Camburn?
What about Marshall McPeak?
Marshall McPeak. What about Bob
He probably
Nunley?
has. Yep, definitely him.
With the AccuWeather forecast.
Absolutely. Channel 4 weather.
I can tell you that it's actually going to happen in October. That's when the actual groundbreaking is going to happen. Everything is on schedule. There was something that was in the dispatch today about the OBET site, and I basically wanted to talk about this because I've noticed that people are like, what's happening with the stadium? Like, what's happening with the agreements and what's happening with OBETs and the Monterey Stadium site? Like, dude, everything is moving along. Everything is rubber stamped. Like, nothing is going wrong. The groundbreaking is going to be in October. Everything is on the up and up. And it was good to see this because it was basically like, also Mike DeWine said, we're basically like, even though he formed that Expo Center 2020, 2025 thing, it doesn't matter. Like, it's all been rubber stamped. It's all happening. Don't worry about it. John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. We don't worry about it. Why are we talking about this?
You want to tell me about that?
And new stadium renderings will come out when new stadium renderings come out.
New stadium renderings
Wait for them.
Will come out before the groundbreaking. Because
they'll get there when they get there.
They already said that.
Yeah. There's going to be
next month at the thing at the city council or whatever, they'll reveal it.
The new the next whatever they call it, the community meeting, whatever, they have to give them. You know,
don't get info when it's ready to be given to you.
Yeah. John, you don't seem
We're
very
getting
worried.
a new stadium. Like I don't know.
You seem like a man on the inside.
I think that people
you
are
feel
just
like that,
stressing themselves out over it for no reason.
I've always said about you, I says, John, you feel like you're on the inside, and you're always like, yeah, no, you said that was okay.
John is deep on the inside. He's way inside. Like, he has penetrated the outer parts. He's deep inside.
But just as friends.
I'd like back out.
Whoa, that sounded. You made that sound sexual, Brent, and I invite you to lick these nuts.
But also just
that
his
he
friends.
brought. He always carries this cup of nuts with him.
Yeah. Roasted almonds.
He's absolutely right.
Everyone relax. We're going to get a new stadium. John Zadar's on the inside of 100 men, and if there was something wrong, he'd let you know.
Men and
at the
women.
same time.
Yeah, let's not be, gender specific here. John is inside a lot of people these days, getting you all the good stuff.
I didn't say anything about the additional women he's on the inside of. I just said I know I can confirm at this point.
100 men.
100.
Who knows how many women?
There could be many more, or possibly zero. Let's go around the table and give our man balls out. It's a combination of man of the match and game balls, which has a term that's too long, as opposed to John Zadar's generals, which are inside of 100 men. Drafts, we're going to start with you. Your man balls of the week, my friend.
My first man ball actually is going to go to Aloy Room. He had a fantastic game against Cincinnati, made some great saves, deserved a shutout, didn't get it. We know it's coming soon. The guy's got talent.
Already.
What's that?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He has no shutouts for the crew.
Didn't we talk about this a couple weeks ago?
We did, but
we
Morgan
talked
was
about it.
wrong.
We were probably wrong.
Well, Morgan was wrong.
Yeah.
What a
That doesn't
surprise.
sound
Montreal
right.
scored.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound accurate.
Yeah, he still hasn't quite managed it, but no fault of his own that he didn't get it this game.
All right.
My second man ball actually goes. It's a more conciliatory man ball. It goes to Zach Steffen, another guy whose defense just gloriously.
Holy
let
shit! I
him
watched
down.
that game.
I watched the first half, and then I was like, oh no, I felt bad.
Were you the one tweeting that they're experimenting with no center backs? At times, no one was there, and they just let who were they playing?
I think that might have been Charles, but it just
Who did Frank use? Bayern Leverkusen.
Yeah.
They were just why don't you guys just go ahead?
Yeah, it was we're just going to put balls right in front of goal because we know the defenders are going to run screaming from them. So
it reminds me of when
keep your
I
head
was
up,
playing
Zach.
goal for the Save the Crew team last night. First time ever.
You played goalie
I
last
did.
night?
Without gloves, and it was wet.
Why? Oh, God.
That probably
What
shouldn't
was
be
the
a
score of
drop.
that game?
We lost 6-1.
Anytime you're handling balls without gloves and it's wet, it's going to be a problem.
I gave up 4 goals, and I think Shrek gave up 2.
Would you switch?
Yeah, at halftime. We both hurt our hamstrings.
Playing goalie?
What, from
No.
falling down?
He hurt his hamstring in the first half. Yeah, we have one hamstring among the two of us. We're both weak. Brent, your 2 man balls of the week.
First one's going to go to Harrison Afful. Had a really great game, and I feel like he's not getting enough attention for it because he wasn't on the. He had assists, but wasn't the goal scorer. Second one is going to go to Justin Miram for A, tearing it up with Atlanta, and B, his
As a wingback, as it turns out.
Yeah, playing pretty well at left back. Kind of weird. But his congratulatory tweet, still paying attention to us, still rooting for us and the guys in the locker room. We got robbed on that deal.
I got a text from celebrity shit-ass Kip Lexner this morning and said, Harrison Awful is really good with other people's kids at the bus stop. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And he's like, apparently he lives in Kip's neighborhood, and he just he waits at bus stops for kids. And I was like, he has kids, right? And he's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, thank fucking Christ, dude.
Yeah, it's not just creepy.
He was worried that he was moving
Yeah,
out of his
dude.
turf. That's what that's what Morgan was worried about.
Yeah, Harrison
He was worried
Awful's
that he
looking
was
to
gonna
invest
run
in a
out of-
fun
Wait a minute,
van
hold on a
these
second.
days.
I wait at those bus stops.
Yeah, dude. I was like, so he's just waiting at bus stops for kids? That's not great. Oh, thank God. Harrison Awful has children. Awesome. John Zadar, your man balls of the week.
Can I give an extra man ball?
Sure, we'll allow
I'd like
that.
to give 3 man balls away.
Okay.
I'd like to give 1 to Brent. I'd like to give 1 to myself. I'd like to give 1 to you for all 3 of us making the trip to Cincinnati and not staying
my
home
God.
to watch the game in our basements.
Oh, you're going to... Oh, that's the
Darby's
roasting.
going to pretend like he doesn't care, but he
Yeah, why'd you stay at home, you old man,
I
you
had a
old
great
bitch?
time at home. We had a birthday party for Casey Castle.
Yeah, why'd you stay at
who
home?
turned 12 years old. No, we had a great get-together. It was basically like a tailgate in the backyard.
It sounds like
Why
exactly
didn't
the
he
people I
come
avoid
to,
at tailgates.
Why didn't he come to the game?
Yeah,
for his birthday.
A
real
birthday party
friend
at the away
would have
game
taken
with
him
a bunch
to
of
the
crew
game.
fans. Seems like a perfect setup there.
You didn't need us.
Well, no, we never do. But
You had fun.
Who'd the third man ball go to? Me, you, and Brent?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'd like to take one away from Brent and just give
That's
one to
fine,
me
we can
and
do
John.
that.
That's great. My first man ball, well, you know what? It was going to go to Aloy Room, but Drabs already did that, so I'll take mine away from Bob O'Shaughnessy and Brent Miller. My second one obviously goes to Andres Mendoza.
You can't take
No.
You
Taking
can't
away counts
take away
instead of
two
giving
man
one.
balls and instead of giving one. That's
No.
not how any of this
You
works.
get to either take one away or give one.
And yet I just did, and here we are at the end of the segment, and the music is playing.
I actually didn't even hear who he gave it to,
I'd like to award a third man ball and take
No,
a
you
man ball away from all three of you. Because that's
no,
apparently how it
I'd
works
like
now.
to- What?
Yeah, no,
One
that's how it
for
works.
three?
Yeah. My third man ball is taking away man ball from
Brent's
all three of
now
you.
at
Mine was already taken
Brent's
away.
now at
I know, so
-2
you're
for the
at
day.
a
All right,
negative
fuck you,
man ball
Drabs.
right now.
If you've enjoyed the shitlordery. On segment one, I've got some great news for you. There's a urinal open right now. John Zadar is going to fill it. My friends, my mapaches. You're listening to the trash pit known as ACES Radio.
The way we kick it in the dojo is local for show. Though we paving the road that's opposed to the dodo. Going over your head like a top hat. Stop that. I know you hear me spitting these hot raps. Now watch that beat, cause it's about to drop. The Rockets is the 09 jump off. Yeah, your last name Pan, first name Peter. I know you see me playing and you want me to teach you, but I say elevated so that all God's creatures can hear me shout it out like my name is Aretha. Getting RESPECT. Fly by, see the looks on your faces. Cause I'm in full EFFECT. Jet setting on a daily basis. David F. Man, don't stop. David, don't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah. I'm an ace pilot, yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all my people in coach, and to my first class folks, we'll show you how to scrape the sky. As the curvature of the earth takes shape, fly fast forward like a videotape and no cape. Just follow my jet stream, proud in the clouds on the boom in your precinct. I'll have no trampoline, black box in the pocket of my jet jeans. Shine with the stars so bright, even NYC sees me. Get that?
Yeah, baby. Ignorant sluts, shitlord, celebrity fans, and all you fools listening on your iPhones, welcome back. It is week 34 of the Sheep League. My name is Carol Seaver. Brought to you as always by Blood and Urine. It's episode 131, you dirty bitches. Big shout out to Brent Miller for joining us on segment one. Even though we don't respect you and we think you suck, and the Yankees are bad, and Aaron Judge, Mike Judge, Aaron Boone. He's a. We don't like that. We don't want you. You ever seen the movie Hugh? Or North? I'm sorry, North. It's called North. It's with Elijah Wood. It's from the 90s. You ever seen that? Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Jason Campbell. What's his name? Plays George on Seinfeld.
I don't think anyone knows what you're talking about.
So they're like, we don't want Hugh, and then they make it look like we don't want you. And Elijah Wood's like, ooh, I'm gonna travel around the world and find new parents. You ever seen that movie?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, welcome back. It's episode 131 of this stupid show. Yet somehow people listen to it, and I don't know why we're popular, but here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would, give it up. It is segment 2. We have a celebrity guest in our midst. I want you to please applaud for Cassandra Ferris. Cassandra. Ferris.
I'm just doing the opposite of what you tell me to do.
John, try.
No.
Oh, Pam's out there washing her butt.
Cassandra, welcome to ACES Radio.
Hi, glad to be here, I think.
How are you?
I am good.
I just asked you before this segment started, have you ever listened to this show? And I thought I was going to have to explain like 100 things to you. And you're like, no, I've listened to every episode since episode 2. And I was like, well, I don't respect you anymore.
Is there a reason you didn't listen to episode 1, by the way? You're just like, nah.
Because of the echo effect.
I discovered it on episode 2. Went back and listened to episode 1.
Oh, so you have actually heard them
yes,
all then?
I have heard,
Jesus.
yes.
What was the best
What
episode?
a treat for you to have listened to episode 1.
God.
I don't even know.
Not the big soccer episode.
Definitely not the big soccer episode. Let's not talk about that one.
I don't want to talk about that. We almost got
me either.
arrested by the police because one of our friends, who shall remain nameless, who's named Mark Sharp,
I think it's a good idea to keep
tried
him
to
nameless.
kill the elephants. Rhinoceroses. Is it rhinoceroses? Is that like the plural? Rhinoceros? Maybe it's just anyway. It's like Crew. Like the Crew is playing, the Crew are playing. Cassandra, we want to thank you for stopping by here on segment 2. It's always good to get a girl in here because most of our guests are men, and I don't like that. And they threaten me physically.
Well, they threaten you. They don't threaten me.
Well, it's true. You're actually more powerful than I am. Start us off with we're going to ask you the same question we ask all of our celebrity fans, and that is, how do Crew fans know you?
For 4 years, I wore a yellow wig and jumped up and down and cheered and shouted in the Nordeck.
I remember that.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
You were a yellow wig lady, baby.
Yes. I have since retired the yellow wig because it was born in the era of a certain owner. And so it died in the era of the certain owner.
Which owner?
I don't want to say his name.
Oh, okay.
Clark Hunt.
Clark Hunt.
Other than that, I'm really noisy on Twitter, and I tweet mostly about tech stuff, but then like Crew and my dog show up there too.
You do. You're a tech lady.
I am.
You're a tech girl.
I am a tech
You go
girl.
to a lot of conferences.
Hey,
I do a lot of
I go to this
conferences.
conference. That's what I see. I follow you on Twitter. I don't know if you follow me back, but I follow you, and I see that you've gone to a lot of tech conferences.
Yes.
But you do like cooler stuff than just like coding. You get to talk about like cultural things, right?
Yeah.
A lot of selfies with nerds that seem to be
Yes.
in Chicago
Yes.
at a tech conference.
A lot of
Hey.
my friends are nerds,
Yeah.
and I'm
Are you
okay with
excited
that.
about the new Star Wars movie?
I haven't watched the preview yet, much to my mom's disappointment.
There's 2 fire swords.
Two fire swords.
I saw screenshots. There are 2 fire swords.
Okay.
So
I'll make it a note to watch it when I get home.
there was a lady holding a 2 fire sword thing, and people are like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's that?" So, John,
You're not wrong. You're just stupid.
Well, we know what quote's going in next week's recap.
Exactly.
Oh shit. Okay, yellow hair lady. Let's get into the Eunice of the Mokhtar of the inside of you. All right.
Okay.
As we say, where are you from? Where be you from?
I am from the town of Vermilion, Ohio.
Where is that?
It is on Lake Erie, halfway between Cedar Point and Cleveland.
Huh.
Tiny little boater town, very touristy. Not a lot to do there.
I've never heard of Vermilion.
It's usually people know it as like a highway stop off Route 2.
Who else is from there?
No one I know.
Like no famous people?
Big Chuck and Little. No. They're from
Big
Cleveland.
Chunk?
Wait, hold on, Big Chuck and Lil Chuck? What
No,
was
never mind. It was a show that.
Little Chunk? Are you saying Chuck or Chunk?
Chuck, but no, he was not from Vermilion. I don't think there are any famous people from Vermilion.
Yet.
What's a Big Chuck?
It's like a guy who drives a bus, I'm assuming.
It's this old show that was on in Cleveland when I was a kid.
Okay, well, we'll just edit that out.
There we go. No, you won't.
How'd you get to Columbus from Vermilion, where there is literally no one from anywhere?
On Big Chuck's boat.
I lived in Michigan for a few years, and there was nothing there.
There are vaguely
Yes.
notable people, apparently.
Like who?
Oh,
Big Chuck, for one.
just regular Chuck?
Yeah, regular Chuck.
Andy Oliver,
Extra
who was apparently a
large
pitcher
Chuck.
for the Pirates.
Okay.
The
Does that
person
count
who
as a famous
invented the
person?
Pelton Wheel Impulse water turbine.
We do have a
Are
sign
you
about that beauty
serious?
queen.
Yeah.
Carl Pelton is from Vermilion?
Lester Pelton.
Lester, damn it.
Miss Teen USA 2005.
Yeah, when you get off the highway, you see a sign that says
Wow.
home of Miss Teen USA
I
2005.
mean, we were asking about famous people.
Yeah.
Phoebe Judson, American Pioneer.
We, as like crew savers, are more famous than these people. Like,
How can you be a pioneer and be from Vermilion, Ohio?
I don't know.
We do have a festival dedicated to woolly bears that we're kind of known for.
I'd love to know what the fuck a woolly bear is.
What the fuck is a woolly
let's talk
bear?
about
These
that.
little orange and brown caterpillars, or orange and black caterpillars.
You have a
And we have a
festival
whole
for
festival.
caterpillars.
This is what happens when you're a town of 10,000 people with nothing to do.
Got to be known for something.
Those aren't
Yes.
caterpillars. Those are Cleveland Browns players. How dare you?
Okay. You just go ahead and play that. You can have your moment.
Yeah, we have those
what-
here. I've seen those here
Mark
too.
Sharp is showing me a
We have
caterpillar.
those here.
Mark,
That's a woolly
that's
bear.
a penis.
I've never seen that in my life.
What's
You should
the
get that
real
looked at.
What's the real name of it?
It's actually called a woolly bear.
We'll move on from this because this is a dumb conversation.
I agree.
Tiger moth.
Especially
Why do you
since
think I
Mark is
left the
showing
city?
pictures of his
I
penis.
don't blame you. So you ended up going to Michigan for what?
Work.
Work.
Yeah, I was an
And-
insurance agent for a minute, which I
Okay.
didn't like.
So you were where in Michigan?
Monroe, Michigan.
Ooh, that is right about.
It is the stupid hand map right here.
I was just
It's-
making sure
yeah.
that you actually live
Yeah.
there because
Yeah.
if you didn't, you wouldn't have known to do that.
It's between Toledo and Detroit.
Okay. All right. That's a horrible place to live.
Yes, it was horrible.
Yeah. I've driven through there hundreds and hundreds of times. So what brought you to Columbus? Better life?
Yeah, basically.
Awesome.
One of my good college friends was campaigning for me to move down here, and I finished a degree and decided to move to Columbus. And it was supposed to be a temporary stop before I moved somewhere warmer, and that was
Ooh.
10 years ago, and now I'm still here.
Where did you want to end up?
I wasn't sure yet.
Anywhere warm?
Anywhere it doesn't snow.
Because there's a wind and a lake effect that comes off of that lake that you grew up on.
Yes, it's horrible.
I can imagine you hating the winter.
I do hate the winter.
Yeah, but here you are now. What kept you here?
Friends, the community. More recently, the crew has actually been a reason that I've stayed in Columbus versus moving somewhere else.
The crew is an interesting topic. We should talk about the Columbus
We
crew.
should.
Is that what you meant by the crew? The Columbus
Yeah,
crew?
the Columbus crew.
Awesome. We talk about that sometimes. How did you get into the Columbus crew? What happened?
I had a friend of a friend invited me to a game so I moved here August 2009. My first game was October 2009.
Nice.
And I was instantly hooked on the sport. I liked the team aspect of it. The friend I was with was explaining everything to me, so I had some understanding of what was going on, and then I thought the atmosphere around the team was a lot of fun. So
Still a friend? Still a crew fan?
still a friend. Well, the friend who introduced me to the crew has since moved to Seattle.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
You hate to
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah.
Are they still a crew fan, or are they?
He is a crew fan, yes.
Ah, Jesus. For Amazon?
He did work for Amazon, actually.
I knew it. I knew it.
No. So it's just been a part of my life since I've been in Columbus, pretty much.
Did you talk to him about soccer? Like, was it? You said like, oh, the atmosphere, the sport. I loved it instantly. Was it? Did you grow up with sports in your life, or what was that? And how did soccer come into it? Was it the crew that was the first soccer experience?
Not the very first. When I was in college, I studied abroad in Mexico, and there was a lot of people would be watching games out in the plazas, and I didn't really fully know what was going on, but it was entertaining to watch the games, watch the community around it, and just get excited. But yeah, nobody in my family is a soccer person. My mom's a long-suffering Browns fan. My dad is the Indians. I was never a sports person at all until I discovered the crew.
That's a shitty sports house to grow up in.
It really is. That's what happens when you're from the Cleveland area.
Yeah. No, that does suck. I mean, all Cleveland teams are like historically bad.
They really are.
And I say that as someone who is now a Cleveland Browns fan because the Browns died so that the Browns could come back to life and save the crew. We don't have any option.
Yeah. On the flip side, it gave me a chance to text my family and tell them that Cincinnati fans were leaving Sunday's game early. And I was like, my dad taught me that you stay at the game till the end. You don't leave no matter how bad your team's
He
doing.
enjoys punishment.
He does enjoy punishment.
Yeah. I'm like that. That's why I'm so married to my wife. Let me ask you this.
That's why I'm not married anymore.
So did they get... Did they like since you got into the crew, did they in any way get into the crew, and are they now more into the crew because of the Browns owning the crew?
My mom came down for one of the games about a month and a half ago, and it was the same weekend that the Women's World Cup final happened. And so I took her to the crew game, to the tailgate, sat in the Nordeck, everything, and then...
How'd she like it?
She loved it. She liked the atmosphere and the energy.
I mean, that was like the worst time of the season to come see a game, incidentally.
Yeah, it was. But she's a Browns fan, so she could cope.
Did we lose?
Probably.
A month and a half ago,
It was in the summer.
We lost that.
It was the fireworks game, July something.
Oh, yeah, I walked out of that angry and drunk. Yes. It couldn't have ended well.
I walked out of lots of games angry and drunk.
Yeah. So tell me about... talk to me about... Okay, so you get into the crew just by being dragged into it. I'm always fascinated by people that like are brought into the... Don't punch that microphone, please. I've asked you that 100 times before we got on.
Sorry, it offended me.
I know. So you get into the crew, and so you want to stay involved. Your friend moves to Seattle. Like, you have to make friends. You have to like get involved in this community. It is a daunting task for adults to make new friends and to build new roads and to... How did you manage it?
So... how do I answer this question? So I would initially it was a sad story. My ex-husband and I used to host a tailgate, and we eventually found this overlap of people who... That's fine. But we eventually found this overlap of people who work in tech and people who are into soccer.
Yeah.
And started hosting a tailgate that we started calling the Geek Tailgate. And so from there, this group just became a group of really good friends, and it evolved from going to games when I was in town to staying in town 4 games.
Yeah.
To getting season tickets. One year Columbus did, it was like $200 for season tickets for the Columbus Bicentennial. So I bought the season tickets and was sitting near the Nordeck at the time, and then the following year renewed season tickets in the Nordeck. So
Nice.
it was just, I don't know, I got hooked on it.
I always remember you as like a crazy person with yellow hair in the parking lot.
Yes.
And it's funny to me, it's weird to me to hear you go like, I only had one friend and I got into this, because I associate you with like 1,000 friends around you.
Well, at the time it was like this person would invite this person, or there would be people coming to the games, and I like to bring people together. And so I would hear that different people were coming to games, or I would invite people to games, and it kind of evolved. I think the crew owes me commission on about 10 different season tickets, if that was a thing.
Erica Kress owes you $60.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, because I would invite people to 1 or 2 games, and they'd get hooked and buy season tickets the following year. So I'd always be like, the first one's free.
Listen, any sales organization that is worth their weight in shit will tell you the best salesperson is a satisfied customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is how you sell your product, is you have a good product that people enjoy, and then they tell others, because you don't have to fucking spend any money on that. That's not like on your sales team. And person doesn't feel like they're being sold.
Yeah.
They feel like they're being, trusted by a friend.
Yeah, and the verdict is always, oh, that was a really fun game, I want to go to more, is what people would say after I took them to 1 or 2, regardless of whether we won or lost.
That's funny. Now I know exactly what era you got involved, because if you get people involved right now, no one says that was fun and I enjoyed that. They say...
They'll say the tailgate's fun.
Yeah, we had a good time in the parking lot, and what was that soccer game all about? Now that you have all the friends in the world, and you're about to be just a celebrity fan, unlike any other, now that you're on episode 131 of the failing ACES Radio, talk to me about your typical game day.
So a lot of times we show up like 3 to 4 hours prior to the game. We have a Slack channel where we coordinate tailgate logistics.
Christ.
Who's bringing what? Geeks, right? Geek
Who
tailgate.
doesn't have a Slack channel now? Even the fucking mini tailgate has a Slack channel. Brent Miller doesn't.
I bet we had a Slack channel before mini
You're
tailgate
not in
did.
it. You're not welcome.
No, I would never go in that, Travis.
No, you wouldn't, because you won't be invited.
I know you've been thinking about inviting me. But
You don't even use the one you set up for this show.
Try
You
not
just
to.
post stuff and you log back off till next week.
I don't want to see stuff.
I mean, nobody really needs another Slack channel. I'm in like 50 of them.
Oh.
And I just don't listen to most of them.
Could just leave it.
No, but you guys have a very welcoming and open, and everyone come and hang out tailgate. Tell me where I'd find you, and how do I get involved?
We hang out kind of on the outskirts of the mega tailgate under a yellow tent that was donated to us by the friend who moved to Seattle.
That doesn't narrow it down a whole lot.
I know, it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how to describe the area.
Like, would you be near one of the corners?
We're near where La Turbina sits up. We're usually kind of right next to them.
Walk through the land grant
Yes.
bus,
Mhm.
and then you guys are like a row there.
Yeah.
And you'll see Mark Sharp. He's wearing a Columbus 96 jersey. That guy's a pederast.
Right?
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to talk about him, but...
I wouldn't either.
Right? You brought him up.
I
Sorry,
hate
Mark
myself
who?
for naming him.
I don't. That doesn't ring a bell.
Schaub 17 shan't be mentioned from here on out. We don't want any elephants to die. So go find Cassandra and not Mark, and make some good friends.
Yeah.
And then hang out with the guy that you're like, now I know who I don't want to be friends with.
I mean, we'll feed you food, we'll feed you drinks, and...
Yeah. You
Can we
make
allow
some
different people?
Jello shots that are...
I do.
I'll just say it, not good.
Not good.
No.
I made Fireball Jello shots for Hell is Real.
That's exactly what I'm talking
You
about.
say they're not good, but everybody wants to eat the Jello shots, so...
I fundamentally disagree with that. As a human who lives and didn't want to eat it,
Wow.
I'll say that I didn't want that.
That was your bad decision.
No, I didn't want
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it
does
was
that
spicy.
count? Is that a spicy? Does that count as a spicy?
Oh, they were
experience
spicy.
for you?
They tasted like Red Hot's candy.
It's
No, I know, but that's not like a. I don't think that's spicy. It's like a different kind of heat.
But having said that, Morgan thinks ranch dressing is spicy, so
Well, yeah, like Morgan can barely swallow his own spit. So
I wouldn't say it's spicy. I'd say it's like there is some heat to ranch dressing that I'm not totally comfortable with. And I will eat ranch dressing, but I'm like, I wish it weren't so aggressively ranchy.
Okay.
Is what I'd say. Does that make sense?
So it's not too spicy, it's too flavorful.
Flavor, yeah, I don't like that.
You don't like flavor.
Yeah. There's too much of a thing, and I'm aware that I'm eating a thing. And
Morgan's
I'm
just
I don't
like
want that.
boiled chicken with just a slight bit of salt on it.
Dude, Pam did make chicken the other day that was actually pretty great, and it was just boiled.
plain chicken.
You can
I
make
like
good boiled
She
chicken.
just put a chicken in a pot and cooked it for
I like
3
couscous.
days.
She left the salt off of it even.
Chicken
I
and
liked it.
couscous. I don't need any sort of anything other than that.
So you need like plain tofu then.
I like that. If there was like a dog food for humans that were like just like boiled cardboard.
You could just eat the dog food.
It's not good,
Maybe
though.
that's something to consider.
Well, no, but you said you don't like flavor, so what are you looking for?
Gary's on a medicated dog food, John. I can't eat it. It's too expensive.
Yeah, but he probably eats
What's wrong with
a
him now?
tablespoon a week.
No, it's his entire thing. Like he gets the bladder. He has the bladder babies where if he doesn't pee all the time, he gets like buildups. What is it called? Diamonds. He's like dying.
Nature
Kidney
desperately
stones.
wants your
Kidney
dog
stones,
to
yes.
die,
Right.
and you are like doing everything possible to stop it.
I know he's just a boy.
Nature's
That's
just
a sign
like
of a good
this
dog
shouldn't
parent.
exist.
He's just a boy. We had to remove all of his teeth. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
That's a good dog parent. You do what you can
Yeah,
to take care of
dude.
your dog. That's how
We
it works.
adopted a lemon. It
Yeah.
was my fault. I'm sorry. Cassandra, tell me about your favorite off-field memory, of which there are probably many.
There are many, but
What immediately jumps to mind?
the one that jumps to mind is the Legends game from last year. When we had like the Legends game, and there was just all day tailgate. It was,
Yeah.
I think it was the first game after we'd announced we saved the team, and
It
it was
was.
just this big epic celebration. Everybody's there. It was just
The happiest day.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
like
so
the
happy.
happiest day.
yep. There were
Like-
mimosas all day.
Were you here when we did the October 12th when it was like, did you stop by here?
I was in Alabama for a conference.
Oh, you dirty bitch. Why?
because work.
You're always at some fucking conference doing selfies. This is outrageous.
I know.
So your first opportunity to celebrate was that game.
Yes.
Like with everyone.
Yes, and I definitely celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
How'd you
So-
feel on Sunday?
Fine.
And how did not to interrupt, but I am. Given that you were in Alabama, when you heard the news, where were
Yeah.
you and what
How
was
do you
that
process
like?
that?
It was
Because you're
really-
not with anybody who was like.
yeah. I was due to speak a half an like they had announced that they were going to make the announcement.
Oh no! And you were going to talk in front of people?
I had to give my conference talk, as the announcement was happening.
How'd you manage that?
I put my phone in my backpack and left it there. I think I got the text that the team was being saved half an hour prior to the talk, and I was like, okay, this is really exciting, and I'm like watching. And I was doing a talk on personal branding, and so I was like, sorry, I am really excited. My team just got saved. They were going to move it. I'm, going to try to focus on this talk, but this other thing is happening.
How many people are in the audience?
Like 50.
Okay.
So I get done with the talk, and one of the people who was at the conference is a Sporting Kansas City fan. And he was
Piece of shit.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was the only one who got it.
Yeah.
So afterwards, he and I went and had champagne and just celebrated. I found some
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was, so I had somebody to celebrate with,
That's
but in the
awesome.
midst of like texting friends and Slacks blowing up and like all of the FOMO because I wasn't here for it.
Well, it was only the happiest and best day of everyone's life.
I know, don't remind me.
No, it's fine though.
I missed all the good moments.
You'll probably be a part of something that is half as good, maybe before you die. But so you're talking about the day that was the Legends game,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Yes.
And we kind of have this people coming back to Crew Stadium this weekend. It's actually kind of like a nice bow on this entire year.
Yes.
Are you going to have any emotional responses this year when you see
I
Dante
don't
Washington and Jeff Cunningham out there?
I don't know. I was more having the emotional response to the fact that the team was still there and just excited to celebrate. And
Yeah.
see it here.
John Zadar was there. You were like, that, I wish he weren't there.
The weather was crap.
Weather
I remember
was
that
shit.
part. The weather was crap.
Was it?
Yeah.
But that made it an authentic crew experience when it's like drizzly and
nice.
kind of
No, it was not.
It was
nice.
drizzly.
It wasn't?
What are you talking about?
It was drizzly, yeah.
It poured rain for like the entire time that they did autographs.
That's right, it
Yes.
did. 'Cause
You
I was,
were
like,
probably
waiting.
drunk already.
It
so
was
that's why you
wet
don't remember.
the already like the day of, and it didn't really rain at all during the game. And then as soon as the game ended, it like poured.
It was miserable.
Huh.
It wasn't the Atlanta games from this year, but it was pretty bad.
But that's what made it a crew game.
I don't think it rained
that
during.
was emblematic.
It didn't really
of
rain
14.
during the tailgate or the game itself, I think, but during that middle point, it was.
I'll never forget that.
Miserable.
Other than the specifics of that, I'll never forget that Legends game. And to me, it was a sunny, sunshiny day. Like
Well, you're wrong.
I remember it like as being
He's a
like
Sunshine Brigade
a
fan.
happy like,
Yeah.
hey everyone.
Well, you
let's
also
go.
remember yourself saving the crew, so clearly your memory is flawed.
Well, Drabs, I invite
My
you.
panic attacks beg to differ.
The crew is saved, Drabs. I'm not coming to these quarterly meetings anymore. So tell me why ACES Radio? Why you are here of your own volition?
A few people have asked me why I haven't been on here yet, so there is that. So it's partially peer pressure.
Who's asking you this?
Random people.
Who's that?
Nate Beckman being one.
Yeah,
we
say,
can
don't
blame him.
don't call Mark random people. That's rude.
Mark has not told me to be on this.
No, he's a good man. He would never say
Exactly.
that. Why has Nate Beckman recommended you going out? Because you're a girl?
Probably.
I think he's very conscientious of like we don't
Diversity.
have enough. Yeah. Which is true. I mean, like I won't argue with him.
Well, and he knows I've been a fan for a while, and I'm all about the community, and there's been a lot of overlap between my professional world and my crew world. So
It is outrageous that like sometimes somebody will be like, I should go on ACES Radio. I'm like, wait, have you never been on this? I think when you said that, I was like, have you never been there?
I thought she had been on before too.
Yeah.
no. Mm-mm.
Somebody
I mean,
else.
if only somebody had made a list of
I have a
former
fucking
guests.
spreadsheet that I just shared with you.
Right, I know,
I've
and
seen
it's
it.
in a format that I can't fucking open because
Well,
you
I say-
stupid
Well, that's a
Mac
you problem.
I think that's because you're too
bullshit.
old to use technology.
No.
Oh my god.
Dot numbers is not a valid file extension. I'm sorry. What the shit is that?
It's a stupid Mac program.
yeah.
It's true.
Use
I'm an
Excel
M
like
baby.
everybody on the fucking planet. Use a Google Doc or a G Doc, as the kids say.
Well, it started in Excel, and then I quit my job, and I don't have a desktop anymore, so everything's in Mac.
Use a Google.
You could still get
Google
on Google
spreadsheet.
I don't like Google Sheets. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like numbers either. I like Excel. I prefer to have like 7 screens and have my fucking.
Do they not
Windows.
make Excel for Apple machines?
They do, but I'm not trying to.
There you go.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Except for literally you. You had an entire year for it.
You're right.
Other than
Yeah, by now
literally
you
me-
could have just written it out and taken a picture and uploaded it.
Other than literally me, no one has time for that. Cassandra, give us your thoughts on Apple versus Mac.
Oh, I've recently been forced to go from an Apple to a Windows machine at work.
How's that going?
It's fine. It's been highly annoying because I've had to reformat a bunch of PowerPoints because that's the boring part of my job.
Ew.
It's fine. I miss
Do you
my
work
Mac.
for old people? Is that why you're doing PowerPoint?
No, I work for. It's just how you give talks.
That's what normies use.
Yeah.
So like a 67-year-old man is like, I only pay attention in meetings if it's PowerPoint.
Yeah. I'm not cool enough to use like Keynote or any of the other things that people are using for talks now.
Ooh, keynotes.
PowerPoint.
It's fine. What's that? What's the one I'm thinking of, John? It's what's a hot boy one?
I don't know. I make all my presentations in InDesign.
Reveal
InDesign.
JS.
That's not what.
But
I was
that's
thinking,
not what
but
InDesign's for.
Now
It's
that's
not
what I
just
meant.
for making presentations.
Of course, I would never do that. I would never make it in there. But
No,
unless
there's like
you
a
want
web-based slide deck
Reveal JS
program, though. I
is
think.
one of them.
I don't know.
Web-based.
I know Adobe programs, and so I make them there so that things look good.
There you
yeah,
go.
that's what
I
I
don't
do.
know what you normies use.
I don't. Well, yeah. Who's doing that?
I buy my
It's like-
PowerPoint templates.
I do too.
Yeah.
I buy them, and it says,
Yeah.
"This was worth it because I bought these."
Okay, this
And
is
yet
really
you
boring
won't
talking
pay
about
for
PowerPoint.
Excel.
Right.
Okay, I see what we're getting.
Yeah, I'm a large man. I don't pay for Excel. That's
No
too
one's
much
ever called
fabric.
you that.
You're saying Excel.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Excel.
No.
Okay, welcome back.
That's the opposite of Gary.
Cassandra, what does a crew mean to you? This is a Greg Benson question. He can't sleep at night unless he hears the answer to it.
Okay, I don't know how to do this without getting cheesy, so I'm just going to be cheesy about it.
Well, we can just go
What
ahead
kind
and
of
play
cheese?
this for you.
No, it's not like that.
Oh, don't do this.
But there was a year. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
No, there was. This was a few years ago on the tailgate.
Oh, sorry about that.
It just plays automatically.
It really does. No, it's a happy story. It's a happy story. It's what the team means. So,
I got a thing for that.
woo!
Don't dance before you tell your story. No one can know what you're even
I can
possibly
dance.
going to say.
I can dance when I want.
You could leave your friends behind.
I know. The woo girl come out.
We'll edit that out, old people.
Now, so my favorite cruise story is a few years ago. There was a situation where one of my friends was moving to Seattle. One had her dog hit by a car, and one lost his job. Bad country song.
Jesus.
But the tailgate group who... You spend enough weekends in a parking lot drinking beer with your friends, you suddenly stop making dick jokes and drinking beer, and you start talking about real things. And so...
When are we going to get to that point?
Yeah,
Right?
I understand you're saying it's theoretically possible.
Well, okay, so there's aftergate, and then there's normal tailgate.
She said eventually.
So
We'll
this
get
is
there.
early in the tailgate before things go off the rails.
Oh, okay.
That is actual real talk happens.
Yeah.
But no, for real. So that year, the girl who was moving, everybody rallied together and helped her load a U-Haul, which everybody knows loading a U-Haul sucks.
Yeah, Becky, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. And then we did a GoFundMe for the dog.
Right, buy a new dog.
No, for the dog. Get
the dog
The dog
stopped.
made it.
Okay.
The dog
wow.
broke its leg.
Oh,
and we did a GoFundMe so the dog could have surgery and have its leg repaired.
Wow.
And then the third one was the one guy lost his job, and we all
Buy
banded
him a new
together to help
dog.
him find a job.
They put him in the U-Haul and send him to Seattle.
Get out of here and
I
take
mean-
Gary with you.
There are more jobs in Seattle, so. So it was this moment where it became, and none of us are from Columbus. We all kind of banded together. None of us went to OSU. We don't have that affiliation. So we've all kind of become a family a little bit. And so when stuff happens, everybody supported each other.
Yeah. No, that matters.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you, or you said briefly where you were when you found out the crew was saved. Where were you when you found out the crew was going to move?
I was on my couch in my house in Clintonville.
Ugh.
And it was late at night, and I was on Twitter, checking Twitter, and I saw it, and I think I was up like half the night refreshing and Googling and just trying to figure out, like, is this real? Is this happening? I don't want to lose my team. So then I didn't do a lot with Save the Crew, but I went and stood under a lot of tents at a lot of festivals and a lot of rain.
We noticed.
But
We always said, "Where's Cassandra?" How many people
You
go?
helped with festivals. I remember you signing up for stuff, and
Yeah,
I don't
did
remember
a lot.
you being.
I did a lot of festivals.
that's because you didn't do jack shit when
That's
it came
why
to
I-
festivals.
That's why.
If it rained at the
That could be
festival,
it.
I was probably there.
Ooh. I went to the Italian Fest. It was me and Karen Crognale and Pam. She was at home.
Going there and drinking wine doesn't count.
I was drunk. I didn't see Dom Tuberi at all. The only reason I volunteered.
It's almost like he doesn't go to anything he claims to go to.
Oh, I saw him at the Italian festival. That's his jam. Not that year, but I have seen
Back
him
in
historically.
1994, I saw him there.
Yeah. The first Italian
within
festival.
the past 5 years, I've seen him at the Italian festival.
Okay, that's
Is
not
it-
a very good track record, Darby. Once
the
in
word
5 years.
Seriously, it's like his senior prom. It's the only thing he's really.
Is it?
Why is
so
that?
that's why he's only been once?
What's so special about it? Like, why
Well, I mean,
is that his
he's
thing?
Italian.
Does he get to
so-
wear tux?
Oh, the Italian Fest is actually really sweet.
Yeah.
It's great. I recommend it.
Yeah, lots of food and lots of beer and music. And
That's
shit.
all those festivals are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Come
Italian.
eat our
Well,
cultural food.
I think Mark can back me up. Like the Taco Fest, that was a fucking
That was a cluster.
trainer.
Oh
was a
yeah,
shit
my
show.
friends actually said that it was equally shitty this
Was it?
year too.
Was it
It was
really?
supposed to be better this
No,
year.
I met my friend was like, I'm going to Taco Fest. I was like, oh, let me know how that goes.
They learned nothing.
Like an hour and a half later, he was like, this place fucking sucks dick. I was like, yo.
I walked up to the Save the Crew tent and like I saw Mark Sharp and his daughter Caroline. What's your daughter's name? Lily, little hot
I remember.
Caroline.
No, you see,
I remember seeing Mark at the
girl, baby.
bottom of the
Don't-
goddamn hill.
No,
Mark,
dude.
you're
Do you
allowed to
remember
beat
that?
the shit
She
out of him
was,
for
she
calling
was
your daughter a
disappearing
little hot
underneath the
baby.
Columbus Eagle stands with this other
I'll
guy.
hold him
I
while you.
saw
This
I'll
kid
hold him while you
disappears
hit
all the
him.
time.
That's absolutely right. And Mark was like, she's probably making out with this other 12-year-old. 12-year-olds make out all the time. You said that with your, I don't know how old she is. You didn't say any of this. But like, you're like, I was in line with my
Morgan,
daughter.
stop fantasizing about his child and making out.
He's asked me that himself
What's
many
wrong
times,
with you?
John. What are you just mimicking what he says? But you were like, oh yeah, I've been waiting in line for like 7 hours, and then now they're out of tacos.
Yeah, because like you were at the
It was the
bottom
Taco
of the
Fest.
hill. I remember seeing you when you got in line for food, and it was like, I think I needed binoculars to see where you were relative to the taco trucks.
I can't believe they didn't improve it. They didn't improve it at all.
No, my friend said that the lines were still ridiculous, like so long that they never actually. He was there for like 2 hours and never got a taco.
Was it over by Kosai still?
Yeah, same plot space.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
They were supposed to get more trucks.
I think it was. Yeah, they just didn't get any more people. Or remember,
And then people were like, "Oh, more trucks. More of us should go to the taco festival."
For 2 years now, like whoever runs that is like the 14th biggest city in the country. Are we sure that people like tacos? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Have you ever been to Taco Bell on a Saturday night? And that's horrid tacos. Horrid tacos. I used to live in German Village or across the street from Taco Bell. Welcome to my pain. Welcome to my Halloween night grabs.
How many people threw up in your front yard?
Ooh, too many. Or not enough. Tune in to find out. How can AGS attack be stopped?
So we thought getting him a girlfriend would stop him. We thought getting him married would stop him. I think he needs to have a kid. Because then he won't have any time
that
for
was
anything
not
else.
the progression I was expecting. I thought we were going to kill his wife.
I'm too nice to do that.
I mean, I went to divorce, but I appreciate where your head is, John. Yeah.
No, I think it's too nice.
Dude, actually,
I don't know what Mark said, but I think he's very into
he said
killing
as
his
a dad,
wife.
it does kill all your time, right?
Yeah.
As like I think that the only reason the only way you get out of like supporter group leadership is by having children. And maybe the only way to get out of ACES Radio.
What if I told you
Did that work for
don't
Donnie
respond
Murray?
to Slack messages? That works.
That's called the Chris Lamacchia method, and actually
Yeah.
it does work.
I think the kids call that ghosting.
God damn it, you young! Don't use these. What do you call it? Hot vids. What's that?
Nope.
No. What's that? What's that one?
TikTok
phone thing.
Snapchat.
Snapchat. That's what
Hot
it is.
vids.
No, dude. I don't have Snapchat.
Don't send me videos of your little hot smashers.
When I do this, when I hit my hand with my finger and I go hot vids,
Look at that T9 texting right
I
there.
assume that
Oh my
you know
God,
what
that's
I'm
so
talking
bad.
about.
I knew you were talking about Snapchat. That's
A-A-A-B-B-B.
Yeah. It wasn't until you did the hand thing.
Yeah,
though.
thank you. I had Snapchat for one day and I was like, yeah, I don't understand that. I'm going to delete it.
You know, I'm a social media person and I don't get Snapchat either. I don't.
Is
you're an old.
Is it just like tweets that go away?
I think it's like Instagram stories.
Can I ask you this about Snapchat?
Exactly
Yeah.
Instagram stories.
Oh, okay.
It's what Instagram stories came from.
So you don't send them to people.
You can send them directly if you want, or you can just post it like on your public feed. But the feed erases every 24 hours.
What the fuck? Then what do you even go back and look at?
You don't.
You don't.
Well, you don't.
That's the point.
That's the point.
So is this just made for like nudes?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Do you
So is
remember?
it just nudes?
Do you remember
No,
every time you've
it's not,
said
but-
moving the fuck on?
Yeah.
That's what Snapchat is.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's no. If you know what Instagram stories is, that's literally what Snapchat is.
So by deleting,
There's just no. There's also just not a permanent feed like Instagram has.
Oh.
Which is why I don't use Snapchat because I like to have it all in one spot.
I just hate the interface. I think it's clunky to navigate. But
So by deleting Snapchat, I am the world's best Snapchat user?
yes, that is how you use Snapchat correctly. You delete it.
Okay.
Pro
All
tip.
right. Cassandra, you sticking around for segment 3?
Sure.
All right, fuck yeah. If you've enjoyed the shit literally on segment 2, which you shouldn't have, I remind you as always to unsubscribe from our Apple podcast feed. We are the 5th most popular lag party.
There's a bunch of kids out on the patio.
What?
Exactly.
There
Wow.
are kids out there?
I've never seen Morgan's head turn so fast. That was kind of creepy.
Now I'm
But my
disturbed.
van is so far away.
Now I'm questioning my.
Also, your probation officers out there, simmer down.
He hasn't seen shit. My friends, my mapaches, my amigos de Gajammer, we're coming back on segment 3 with your hot takes and more. You are listening to the undeniable trash pocket known as ACES Radio.
Hot, sicker than your average. Down like goose and I'm fly like Maverick. With the savage attack in a mouth like a mash spitting fuego. Homie, it ain't tricking if it's magic illusions. Indubitably juvenile. My crew can do it and we do it well. Rock around the clock all across the nation. Got a lot of sky miles and a reputation of making earthquakes every time we land. Cause stopping in an option or a part of the plan. Fools get to fuming while I'm running on jet fuel. Now pay close attention cause I'm ready to let you know what I'm all about, child. I got that style that you come to love. And I'ma stay fly till the day I die. Spitting fresh to death from above. Get it, David F. Man. You don't stop. David. You don't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain. Yeah. I'm an ace pilot. Yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all the people in coach. Yeah. To my first class folks. Yeah. We'll show you how to scrape
Where'd you pull that off of?
The underside of my chair. So yeah, they knew what they were doing because it's from that. It's from a Kellyanne account.
Tell me what just happened, Drabs. Tell the audience.
Hi, everybody. So, everybody's least favorite member of ACES Radio, Brent Miller, informed us that we needed to refresh the hot takes thread because there was some shit that got posted.
Oh, my fuck.
And there was something mentioned about a present. And so one of the hot takes said, check under your chairs. And I looked under my chair and it said, go up to the bar to get a thing. And there's a thing in a Avengers bag. But should we... I guess we don't need to wait.
Yeah. All right, before Morgan does that, I want to respond to something you just said. You said I'm everybody's least favorite.
But your mom doesn't count.
The podcast has risen a lot in the rankings ever since the banger segment has been introduced. I don't think that's a coincidence.
No, we're brand new. This was like the first week.
That's an undeniable fact, yes.
This was the first week that we were rated, right?
Yes, we are new. We are, yeah.
Yeah, so that means it's not the bangers, because you haven't done the bangers in like a fucking month, you slacker-ass son of a bitch.
Solid logic right there.
Yeah.
Should we open this right, and we'll just wait till we get to it?
The hot take is, I've left you a present. Please check under the chairs.
Drabs, what if I told you there's a cure for the scourge of checking under chairs? Is
it not doing segment 3 at all?
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible. Make your dreams come true.
And now, an ACES Radio exclusive.
Now you
the
know
battle for
somebody's
the
watching.
Grand Prize. Hot takes from the masses.
Somebody on Periscope knows what's up.
Hot takes from Twitter.
He's heating up.
Hot takes from you.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, Walter. Walter, you dirty, dead puppet bitch. You angry. Look at you now.
Damn it, Brett.
I just got a microphone smashed in my
Brett
face.
just nearly smashed the entire table to the floor.
The microphone just smacked me in the
Jesus.
face.
There are 6 people watching the Periscope feed right now.
Wow. Setting records, hey. It's season 4.
5 Nate Beckman accounts.
Because he
And a
did
Buffalo
say he
Bills
might be
fan.
here today, and then he didn't show up.
Oh, how dare you.
Nate said he was going on, yeah.
He said there was a non-zero chance that he would be here tonight.
He was doing a big table. You were doing big table.
Yeah.
Nate
Yeah,
had
did
too
you-
many...
Nate wanted me to go to that, and I was like, but
What
it's
is-
the middle
what
of the
is that?
day, and also
Well, it's
I
people
don't
getting
wanna-
together and discussing
Columbus
theories
Yeah.
about like inclusivity. Like, hey, welcome to this big table. We're going to talk about including each other.
I don't know if and Morgan, you know, so Laura, the person that you actually connected with to get Gary.
Oh, Laura Oldham.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was doing a big table today.
Yeah.
And she got there, and she was the only person at the entire location when it was scheduled to start. But she said promptly at 1:00 when it started, a bus full of like high schoolers popped in. And so apparently they joined the discussion, and one of them asked her what it was like being alive in the 60s. So there has been a murder at one of the big table discussions.
Who will clean up all of the blood, Drab?
Well, that's how you rally the community together. You clean up the blood together as a
Yeah.
group effort.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Wow.
I'd like to give a man ball to the high school students that made that hot take. Before we get started, let's go ahead and read the overall standings. According to Alex Thomas, is the only reason people tune in. Sweet monkey balls. It's small this week. In first place...
That's what Pam said.
Oh, God. That's a drop waiting to happen right there.
Oh, man, that's good, Drabs. Woo! It's funny because it's true. In first place, Columbus Crew Eagle with 35 points, followed by... in second with 14, followed by Setting the Table with 13 in third. Fourth place is Downtown Falcon with 8, followed by AGS Attack in fifth with 7 points. Basketball Emoji checks in sixth with 6 points. Tim Bezbichenko and Angry Drabs tied for 7th with 5 points apiece. Bonesy 10, Degenerate Kneebone, and Weekend Stepdad all with 4 points in 9th place. Cleb Porter Aces Archive. Mike Hudson sucks. He certainly does. Columbus Lad in Alex Thomas fan club. Big riser last week. In 12th place with 3 points. The 2-pointers are Robert Shaft. Arby's official, Darling Thief, what a good lad he is. Hired ballerina, not spelled how you think it is. And super agent lawyer, all in 17th place with 2 points. The 1-pointers are as follows. Morgan's Fun Van for your kids. Morgan's Anal Leakage Massive 14 Smack Jack Off Lamborghini. Morgan's Pocket Recorder Nordecker. Ron T. Joe Bennett. Goals for Shadow Cell. The Campesano Family. Waffles Eagle. Jarvis Woodson. Hook Manny. Ralph Shudell. Dayton Dutch Osprey. Arch City Owl. Stank Lord. USA Gilf. Kansas University PR. Solana Max. Leagues Cup. Series Eagle Facts. And Trevance Zadar. All tied in 23rd place with a point apiece. Bringing up the rear this week, Greg, and getting the bulk. In 48th place with negative 1 point, Bob. O'Shaughnessy. Bob.
What?
O'Shaughnessy. Mark Sharp wants to see that.
Mark just stole the
are you making sure that it's actually small font? I can't read it. Oh, I know, dude. Look how small it is. It's the smallest shit
That's
I've ever seen.
because you're old.
Is it?
I mean,
like, you saw... Look.
Wait. Mark, I want you to go round to Morgan's laptop and see if you can read the gigantic-ass text on there.
Okay, so we're doing this thing now where it's like,
where-
can people like read the things?
Yeah. Okay. Mark said it's old people text.
And Morgan just dropped the list in his beer.
I have 3 games to update. That's why it's also small. Because it has to fit on one page.
It's also, but it doesn't have to fit on a half of a page.
I do it in portrait mode.
But you don't have to.
Because I'm a...
So, Mark, turn that around. Show that list to Periscope. And show how
I wouldn't do
3/4
that.
of the page is empty.
Don't look at it, Periscope.
Unfold the whole thing so people get a sense of what this dipshit does. Right? Like, that would be the obvious approach, but no.
No. I don't play by your
He's
rules.
so sad he's been called out.
Yeah.
I don't play by your rules, Cassandra. How many times in your life have people said, and her name was Cassandra?
Every day of my life in high school.
Is it really?
It was pretty damn common.
Is that really
yeah.
a thing that happened?
It was, yeah.
Well, I'd like to think that it was a great joke, and I'd
I
like to give
mean-
myself a lot of credit for having done it 196 times.
It was a great joke the first 2 times I
Wayne's
heard it.
World.
Yes.
It's a great movie. Moving on to the subreddit known as Massive Lads, where I remind you, as always, these hot takes are organized automatically by their level of fiery fucking hotness. The topmost of the popmost this week comes to us from... with 11 points. Quote, I haven't seen a lion get crushed that bad since Mufasa, end quote. Drolby Screenface, your thoughts?
Oh, I laugh, and also I kind of want to cry a little bit. Like, that's a great hot take, but also makes me feel a little misty.
Absolutely destroyed. Destruction.
Flappy Knife Lion went down super hard.
You know that scene in Terminator 2 where Linda Jones, what's her name? She's holding on to the fence.
Linda Hamilton?
Linda Hamilton. And she's like, no. And then her body is destroyed by an atomic bomb.
Why are you putting your hands over your breast area as
Because
you
that's
say
my
that?
body. And she's
He's like, her body got destroyed.
Yeah. Don't destroy my body. And her body gets destroyed, and that's how I imagine Cincinnati fans right now. They're holding onto a chain link fence, and they're like, no. Oh, who's that?
Do you remember when your
is
Gavin
showing.
was showing made the perfect movie comparison, and then you replied with an inferior movie comparison?
Moving on from user Tim Bezbachenko with 7 points. Quote, brah. Yo, dogs, it's your boy Timmy Bez. We fucking owned those fuss lads in Northern Kentucky. Holy shit. When that Diaz goal went in, I blew a hole in the front of my pants and made Tim Miller give me his pants to replace my own. Watching those loser FCC fans stream to the exits in the 75th minute gave me enough content for the spank bank to last the rest of my life. Lyons is the fucking man, by the way. He's pillaging sponsorships all over town, swinging that dong. Get ready for Victoria's Secret White Castle Chipotle Thunderdome Downtown Stadium in 2021. But first, we're going to MLS Cup in 2020. Thanks, Tim.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Cassandra Ferris, your thoughts?
I wasn't paying attention.
That is excellent. You are in the running for the next host of ACES Radio.
Yeah, but in case anybody hadn't noticed, John left for segment 3, but Cassandra filled in spotlessly. Like you couldn't even tell. It was just like the smoothest transition ever. Well done.
Well done to you, Drax. Moving on from user Bonesy10 with 5 points, quote, since there was a lot of talk about how offensive crew fans are, I present to you how to translate Cincy-Tuckian based on the level of offensiveness. Crew fans, quote, you should have stayed in the USL. Cincy-Tuckian translation, quote, go fuck your mothers. Crew fans, quote, this is our house. Cincy-Tuckian translation, quote, you suck, asshole. Well, this is Reddit. You didn't have to use $signs for the S's. That's how you know you're dealing
or blank for fuck
with a big soccer user. Crew fans, quote, beat the traffic. Cincy-Tuckian translation, quote, drive home not safely with your eyes closed going down the wrong direction.
He approaches the baby gang.
End quote. Brent Miller, your thoughts?
Seems pretty accurate how they understood our chants with the amount of butthurt that they expressed on Twitter.
Who's the person that talks? Who's the person that talks about Swenson's the most on Big Soccer?
Oh, that's got to be Chelsea.
Chelsea,
or maybe Timon.
Timon 19. Should we talk about the outrage of Hang the DJ being yellow carded from the last 2 weeks?
I have not caught up. So.
What the hell does any of this mean?
How's it going, Brent? How have you been?
Pretty good, I've been pretty good. Enjoyed the
Hold
game
on.
in Cincinnati.
This is a conversation between me and Schnaub Knight.
I know. Big soccer
on a microphone.
All of Big Soccer is a conversation between two people. We know this,
and everybody can only hear half of this right now because Mark's
and
not
Kevin
on mic.
Gilbert.
Right?
He also refused to talk about anything except like whiskey and like where his grandfather was during World War I.
No, I used to be a striker.
Yeah.
German soccer.
Yeah.
And my wife doesn't think I suck.
My uncle was on a U-boat. What is a U-boat? God damn it! I don't give a shit. Like what the fuck? This is a post-game thread. Here's a picture of my grandfather and my uncle, my great uncle
Hey,
Gary.
James, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
Dirty bitch. Oh, you want your whole thing going on?
Yeah, there you go.
That's exactly what we
Go
needed.
ahead, Drebs.
I mean, we actually could have used the Benny Hill music at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is the theme song for Big Soccer, now that I think about it. Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Hang the DJ says like there might be implicit bias ever, and everyone's like, "How dare you call me a racist?" It's like, well, I didn't do that. That's not what happened. I just talked about the concept of implicit bias, and they're like, "This is outrageous. I won't have it." I'm not sure what to think now. Fuck you, user Lamakia, you dirty bitch.
What on earth is happening?
Moving on from user Columbus Crew Eagle.
This is your punishment for talking about Big Soccer, by the way.
7 points. Quote, Merrigan. It is Columbus Crew Eagle. Happy to help you have good National Waffle Day. Enjoy nest time. Still picking syrup from Feather.
Getting weird with the eagle.
Season come close to end. Looking forward to seeing Ace Crew again. John and Drab excite to see Columbus Crew Eagle. Hope everyone planned to come. Bring waffle and syrup. Waffle party for everyone. But most of all, Merrigan. Please bring waffle, please. Merrigan, love it. End quote. No. Anyone who wants to say that this is bad, just go ahead and talk.
Nobody wants to say that, though.
Correct.
Drab, your thoughts.
I just got a text message from we'll say an unnamed source.
What the fuck is this?
What's worse than reading Reddit on a podcast? Reading Big Soccer.
Oh.
That wasn't even reading. That was Big Soccer.
Nate! Fuck you.
That's right, Nate. Fuck you, Nate. Fuck you. Nate Beckman. Fucker.
Moving on from user Dope Hove with 5 points. Quote, please play the land down ender drop. End quote. Cassandra Ferris, your thoughts?
Kangaroos,
What else?
knives, wallabies, things that kill you.
What about shitting on kids' chests?
Ew, gross.
That would be bad.
Giant spiders.
My limit is poop jokes.
Oh, okay. If you're sitting in
Wait,
Hendok's
so the
pub,
poop was the problem with that?
Oh, yeah. Have you been back to Hendok's since they opened?
Else on a kid's chest, you would have been fine.
Are they open again?
Yeah.
They're busy talking.
Let me smash.
Have you gone back to? Is Hendok's open again? Have you been back?
No. Is it? I don't know. Is it?
I
Open
thought they were
again?
gonna like open it right away again or
I
something.
mean, they did open like the very next day.
What?
Yeah.
Hendok's is open
So,
again?
I don't know if it's still open, but they did open it the day, like the day or two after you said it was
I thought
closing.
all the true babies were going to what's the one on Riverside Drive?
Point Tavern.
Point Tavern. Yeah.
That might be a thing.
If anybody's been to Hendok's, incidentally, let us know what the experience was like if it's reopened.
It's
'Cause I
the
am curious.
shittiest bar outside of Witherspoon's or wherever the fuck you go. Where do you go, Charles? Where'd you meet your whore wife? What's it called? Champs or no?
Champs
Legends.
America?
Legends? No, what's it called?
Applebee's?
on Kenny Road. What's it? Who? No, fuck you.
Cahoots.
No, what's it called? Right
Cahoots.
across
You're
the-
thinking of Cahoots.
right next to Pockets.
Cahoots.
What's it called?
Yeah.
No, it's not Cahoots, dude.
Cahoots. Yeah.
It's the same fucking parking lot. What are we talking about?
Definitely Cahoots.
Or Columbus
Traditions,
Gold.
that's right. Trads, as they call it in the industry.
Columbus
Trads.
Gold.
Trads. All of the hot babies call it trads. And I cannot believe that like two of my friends met there and then got married. And it worked. Because my most degenerate friends went to Traditions, and you are like in college football, like pick'em leagues with them. Dirty bitch. Moving on from user Columbus Lad with 6 points. Quote, now that the crew owns Nippert Stadium, will that be turned into a practice facility as well in 2021? End quote. Brent Miller, your thoughts?
So when you think about it, by the time we open our stadium in 2021, we'll be the first team with 3 stadiums.
Boom. Roasted.
Oh my God.
I like it.
How do they come back from it? Probably in another losing fashion. Moving on from user Angry Drabs with 4 points. Quote, we crushed Cincinnati! Bradley and Alzuriga left off the United States Ninja Turtles roster. We have the 85th ranked soccer podcast in America. The only thing that I have left to be mad about is the lack of things to be mad about. Hashtag vote Zardes is back, baby, end quote. The real Drolby Scrim Face, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I can always find things to be mad about. I can be mad about having a lack of a stadium deal finalized and official. Oh, what?
Oh, hashtag stadium.
What was
yeah.
that? What was that? I just got an unnamed person in the studio audience just gave me the middle finger. That was rude.
Who could that be?
There's no way of knowing. The
Moving
camera's
on.
facing the wrong way for Periscope.
From user Darby Fan Club with 4 points, I'm going to go ahead and play this, just like first. Just get this out of the way. Quote, just wanted to take a moment and highlight Darby, who is great and smells great and is great with his great-great-grandchildren, end quote.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nope.
I don't even care. It's just
No, that will never play for this. I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah.
You
there it is.
son
Yeah.
of a bitch!
Yeah, that's right. Smells great. Grandkids. Fuck you, Morgan.
You said great-great-great-grandkids.
I don't care.
Alert. Darby Schnarfus has entered the game.
Cassandra, your thoughts?
He's great at being a casual and not going to Cincinnati.
Boom.
Yeah, this is true.
Roasted.
Had a great time.
Not sure how he comes back
so
from
thank
that.
you for bringing that up. By the way, I would like to point out, for the record, that
All right.
prior to the Cincinnati game, my record at away games was 0 wins, 6 losses, 0 draws. So you're
never,
all
ever.
welcome.
Yes.
Never, ever
You
go
are
on the road
welcome
again.
for
Yeah.
me not going to Cincinnati.
You've never
because
been to an away
I would
victory?
have murdered that. So
Jesus.
I am 0 for 3 regular season games, 0 for 1 Open Cup in Cincinnati, and 0 for 2 in the playoffs.
Can I disagree with you for a second?
What?
Because I was with you at an away game that we lost and yet advanced. So
Well,
how do
yes.
you
Yeah, that's the Red Bull
reconcile?
game.
Yeah.
But it was still technically a loss. I mean, the aggregate aside, I have not seen a win in a road game in 6 attempts. Haven't even
Moving
seen
on.
a draw.
From user Morgan's Pocket Recorder with 2 points, quote, hey, Morgan, Darby, John, and possible guest, if they actually showed up, I was walking around Monday wondering what this wonderful aroma in the air was. No, it's not petrol, a pleasant smell that frequently accompanies the first rain after a long period of warm, dry weather. But it's all the little roasted needle dick FCC fuckboys who got roasted in the stands when we came down there and barbecue their little hot baby needle dicks. Hashtag hell is real. Hashtag John Zadar is real. Yeah, I'm sorry, John Zadar is real. Hashtag
Zadar.
Little hot baby dicks. Hashtag butts. Hashtag Santos sluts. Hashtag tongues only. Hashtag tums only. End quote. Brent Miller, your thoughts?
So the guest actually did show up, but John is not here. So good call on that one. But we definitely hashtag won the stands.
Yeah, can we say that John Zadar is real if he's not here?
John Zadar.
John Zadar is not real because he is not present.
Darby, what are your thoughts on us winning the stands?
What stands? I mean, we won my basement.
Moving on from user Pat Scroonin with 1 point, quote, Columbus Crew fans are the most disrespectful fans I've ever seen. Claims fan leaving their first sporting event ever. Also, throwback. And then there's a, we're going to go ahead and click on this. This is a, no, we don't want that.
It's a YouTube video.
Yeah, we're not playing
Keith
YouTube's.
Olbermann talking about us being the worst.
Oh, I remember that. I had the T-shirt from it, and yet I'm the bad guy. Moving on, last hot take of the night from user Kellyanne96.
Here we go. Take a breath.
Can only imagine how roasting drabs this is going to be.
Fucking presents for you, dipshit.
Well, I'm going to open it, and it's going to be a hot roasting of you.
It's going to be it's going to be a little baby dick.
Yeah, which you would like as a pederast. With 1 point, quote, Marigan, I'd love to have a present. Please check under the chairs in the beautiful front room of Endeavor Brewing Company. Signed, Kelly Ann. Here we go. I'm going to open this.
Explain?
Yeah, do the play-by-play. Talk about the gift bag and such.
So this is a gift bag of a bunch of cartoon characters.
How did you get the gift bag?
With an A in the middle. Oh, so there was a piece of paper taped to the bottom of a chair.
My chair specifically.
Drabs found it, and then Brent took it to the top, the front room, the drinking floor.
I was a guest in the studio audience, but
and so now we have a bag that has a bunch of cartoon characters, and there's
that would be
an
the
A
Avengers
in the middle of it. Okay, it's
because you're an Avengerman.
I'm opening it now.
There's some black tissue paper. More black tissue paper.
All right, there's a piece of paper that says...
Oh, shit.
Fuck! Now it's to me. All right, great. It says, Dearest American, please give the contents of this bag to my lovely hashtag Darbs. Sincerely, Kellyanne. So I'm going to give this to you, and now you open it.
God damn it. Okay, so now there's a present wrapped in dog gift wrap. Is this... Paw Patrol. Apparently it's Paw Patrol, according to the old...
fuck is Paw Patrol?
Okay.
Who's
Right.
What's Paw?
Apparently to the dads in the room this means something. I don't know.
For children.
Okay.
Okay. Inside there's some goddamn styrofoam.
So Paw Patrol is giving Drabs like a
Hold on
thing.
then.
All right, I'll get that.
Let's see what's going on here.
Oh, Jesus. What is that? What is that?
It's beautiful.
There's something with a horse, and there's salt and pepper shakers.
What? What is it? But what are the... It looks like a bunch of dead...
So there's...
looks like a dead skull. Oh,
Okay,
shit.
so there's a horse head and some wooden things. And it's a salt and pepper
Dude,
shaker
this is one of the
holder, I
coolest
guess.
fucking things I've ever seen, Drabs.
Some mafia shit right here.
Look at you with your little...
Adds charm and delight to your home with this timeless keepsake. Okay.
What else does it say?
That's it. I mean, it's like...
So there's like a horse head built into like a rock face, and then on either side of the horse face, there's like room for a salt and a
This
pepper
kind of
shaker.
salt and pepper shaker set you would like
my
if you were really
God.
into the Godfather movies.
Oh
as
my
it turns
God.
out.
Or apparently horses.
Oh yeah, you need to show this to the internet. And by that I mean
Why does it
just
smell like
Nate
pizza
Beckman.
in here? And oh, God damn it, Mark! You brought fucking pizza in, you piece of shit.
Wow.
So
Alert,
that's
Darby
that's,
Schnarfus has entered
that's
the
a thing.
game.
There's like a half a wagon wheel. There's 2 horseshoes, and just like random wood because I guess reasons.
I'd like to give a big shout out to whomever gave that gift to Drabs. What a treat! What a treat!
Whoever messaged me that was a part of the hot takes thread, I cannot say who,
Can I pick it up?
said that
it's
there may
heavier
or may
than I
not be
thought it would
other
be.
horse-related objects in the next few weeks.
Oh my fucking God! What a treat! What a hot treat!
Oh my God!
Can I ask?
Let me just say, you're just happy because the coming onslaught of waffle and eagle related things that are going to happen in the next few weeks. You're just looking for something.
No
to
one can be
distract.
sure about what will happen in the future. Can I ask you a question, Drabs? Like,
sure.
which one? Okay, so one is on the bottom of the horse head, and then one is possibly on the top. Which one is pepper? And which one is salt for you? As like the man who has this in his house forever.
I'm actually going to put that in the bathroom, and one's going to be baby powder,
bitch,
and the other
The
one's
right
going to be
answer
preparation
is
H.
salt's got to be on the bottom because it's closer to the horse nose. And if pepper was down there, pepper would make the horse sneeze. And as you know, as a man who's been inside of horses, you don't want horses to sneeze in the middle of
Morgan,
whatever you're doing.
He's going to
Are
put
you
the
kidding?
horse in the
Because-
bathroom where he takes his pants off.
No, the sneeze makes them clench, and that's the best feeling in the world.
You did the joke, but better. All right, Charles, have a good night, man.
Oh, weird that Charles is going to leave right after the payoff, the money shot on the horse.
Every ACES radio account is Charles and what's her name, Gwendolyn. Let's move on. We have blood points to give away. Let's give them away, Drabs. Your 2 blood points go to the following users.
My first blood point goes to your Gavin is showing. That was some real. That was a good reference with the Mufasa. Second one goes to Columbus Lad for the Nippert Stadium being our practice facility. That was another great roasting. That's the kind of banter that's valid and appreciated during all of this.
You do love to see that.
Yeah.
Cassandra, your 2 blood points.
First blood point goes to your Gavin is showing for the Lions.
Of course.
And because I thoroughly enjoy the Eagle saga, second point goes to the Columbus Eagle.
Oh,
Yes,
things
what a
you hate
great
to hear.
Rough Lads.
Brent Miller.
First one is going to go to Kellyanne 96.
Ooh.
I'm excited to see whoever that was.
Love to see that. Jesus Christ, Darby.
The second one is going to go to, let's see here, Columbus Crew Eagle.
Oh, you hate to hear that, don't you, Morgan?
I don't know. I don't really have an opinion.
Is
on
anybody going to catch Columbus Crew Eagle at this point?
it. Well, I mean, like maybe eventually.
Numerically, given that
whomever
there can be,
They have
what,
about
12?
the same chance of catching Crew Eagle that the Crew has of making the playoffs right now.
Oh, it hurts
It's
my
mathematically
heart.
possible. but it
Whomever's
ain't gonna
like
happen.
in charge of keeping track could possibly like not include them at some point because that would be fair as the person who is in charge of it.
No.
Copy of your list.
No,
Yeah.
no one
fair.
does.
And at very least, we know that they have 32 points as of this week relative to anybody else, which the next highest was like 16 or some shit. So. And please know that whoever you vote for in order to try and beat Columbus Crew Eagle, we will defeat that.
All right. Well, my first blood point goes to the topmost of the popmost. And then obviously the last blood point goes to Kellyanne 96. Because good for you. You've done it. And this has been another edition of the battle.
I feel like this thing
The grand
fits in
prize.
really well with the theme of Endeavor, and perhaps it would be best suited if it just stayed here forever.
I honestly think they wouldn't notice if you just put that in the bar.
Like, yeah, it fits. It literally fits with the table.
Yeah.
The sort of the rough wood bark. Yeah, maybe it
Table's
just
growing a
belongs
horse
here.
head.
Very long outro, John.
Darby, somebody went to a lot of effort to give you such a nice present that fits so well with your life and interests. Why would you not keep that?
I really want John Zidar dead.
Fantastic, Glenn Tennis. Take it easy. We have games to update. We actually have 3 games to update. So I'm going to go ahead and do this quickly. The guest, TFC, we were taking on TFC, 2 weeks ago at home. The guest said it was going to be nothing. They didn't respond. Alex Thomas never responded to my text, and it was actually a 2-2 tie. So the guests get no points. May God have mercy on their souls. John Zadar, here is where John Zadar suddenly becomes a player. You said it was going to be a 2-2 tie. It was, in fact, a 2-2 tie. You get 15 points. May God have mercy on your soul. Drolby Scrinface, you said it was going to be a 1-1 tie. And while that was very close to being, it was not close, is what I would say. You get 5 points. May God have mercy on your soul. Morgan Hughes, continuing champion. You said it was going to be a 0-2 loss. That was false. You get no points. Moving on to NYCFC in the midweek game last week. The guest, a.k.a. Alex Thomas. You said it was going to be a 2-1 win. You suck and you're dumb. No points. Sean Sitar said it was going to be a 1-2 loss. It was a 0-1 loss. Sean Sitar gets 5 points. Drolby Scrinface said it was going to be a 1-3 loss. It was a 0-1 loss. 5 points. Morgan Hughes, 0-1 loss. That was very close to being true. Oh, shit. It was a 0-1 loss. Is that what I said? No, I think I said 0-2.
You said 0-2.
I said 0-2. Never mind.
Nice try.
Yeah, 5 points. I can't even cheat when I'm trying to cheat, apparently.
You're casually like, wait, was that right?
But it was. Like, I literally said 0-1 in my spreadsheet, but I remember saying 0-2. Fuck you, Drabs. Moving on.
I also remember you saying 0-2.
Cruisers FC, taking on the FC Fuss Babies. The guest, a.k.a. Steve Abreu on tour. He says it's going to be a 1-0 win. That wasn't true. It was a 3-1 win. You get 5 points. May God have mercy on your soul. Sean Sitar said it was going to be a 2-1 win. It was not. It was a 3-1 win. You little dirty hot bitch. It was that's 5 points, and you only get 5 points. Drab said it was going to be a 0-1 loss. What an old man! What an old bitch! What an old dirty little hot bitch! Little lady bitch! It was a 3-1 win. You get nothing because you don't deserve it. And by it, I mean anything. Mm-hmm. Morgan Hughes said a 1-1 tie. That was really close, actually, because could have happened.
Because that was never the scoreline at any point
in
the game.
I'm just saying it could have happened. You get 0 points. Moving on to the overall standings, which are suddenly a lot closer and tighter than I'm comfortable with. And as you know, Draps, I don't like to be in a tight.
You don't like tight.
I don't like the tightness. That's right.
I am enjoying how
you like
concerned
hot dog in a hallway kind of situation.
That's right. I'm a playing pool with a rope man. Just throw that into the corner pocket. It can't not fit. Is what they say about me. I'm sorry, Cassandra, what did you say?
I don't remember.
All right, fantastic. In last place, the guest, a.k.a. Solana Max, a.k.a. Take him to the moon, I'm a pederast baby. 20 points. In third place, Sean Sitar, the big mover, 25 points since
That's
last
not
we
possible
recorded.
in
It
2
is.
games.
15. Well, there were 3
15
games.
and 5 is 20.
No, there were 3 games.
Oh, there were 3. Oh,
he got,
Jesus.
He got 25 points.
I zoned out so long ago.
In third place. Sean Sitar, 65 points. Unbelievable. So close to Drabs, who is in second place. The old man, the old pederast baby boy, 70 points. And in first place, yeah, that's me. Me, 85 points. You suck my balls, Drabs!
I love that he looked. He's like, yeah, that's me. Like there's anybody else in the standings other than you. Like, did you think that Charles was going to pop up like, oh, with 90 points out of nowhere?
Well, I knew it was me. I just couldn't read whether or not...
You just couldn't read because you were old and fucking blind and put on some goddamn glasses.
Dude, tell me how well you can... I was looking at the point total.
Why do you... This doesn't need to be so fucking small.
All I'm saying is it is small and I have trouble reading it. I don't think that's outrageous. I have trouble reading this very small print. I don't understand why you guys are upset about that.
Like, why are there 7 columns in this fucking thing?
Why would you be upset about me not being able to read small print?
Do you know how to make it bigger?
I'm sorry, Pam.
Clearly, because he's not using half the
trying
page.
for years.
Hey, smart guy, here's a prospect for you.
Yeah.
You've got a goddamn laptop in front of you with old man size font. Put it on your fucking laptop.
Well, before we get into
in
that...
fact, here's a thought. you have this shit on your laptop so that you can print it out on paper and bring it in here to put next to your goddamn laptop when you can just open it up in the fucking laptop.
Every year, everyone gets upset about this around this time.
You could just open your stupid dot numbers file right now and read it and not have it be on paper.
Excellent. We'll go ahead and edit that
Hey,
out.
remember when somebody thought Angry Drabs would run out of things to be angry about?
Before we get into our thoughts about the playoffs and the upcoming game against the Chicago Fire, ladies and gentlemen, it is the weather report with Alex Thomas in 3 and 2 and 1.
And now, an ACES radio exclusive.
We want it now!
The Weather Report with Uncle Sportsman himself.
If I wasn't Jamaican,
Alex Thomas.
then why would I wear this hat?
It's gonna rain!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls alike, welcome back. It's another edition of the Weather Report with Alex Thomas, Uncle Alligator. Welcome back to the show.
Morgan, so good to be here.
Oh, my God, what a treat it is to have you. How have you been, my friend?
Great. We skipped a week, right?
Yes, blissfully so.
Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it?
I enjoyed not doing Aces Radio so much.
I think the listeners enjoyed it, too.
That it felt like what you would feel like if you liked doing a thing, but I didn't, and
It's
I
like the
don't.
reverse of it.
Yeah. Can you imagine hating a thing, but then appreciating the fact that you don't, but imagining that you did, and you put those together?
Right. It's like having to work, but then not going to work because you hate work, but then when you're not going there, you like not being there.
Correct. Yeah. Hey, how you been, man?
Oh, my God. So good. How about you?
2 weeks off. I feel rested. I feel tanned.
More supple?
I'm ready to run for president in 1984. I'm Richard Nixon. So you went to Cincinnati.
I was there.
Did you have a good time?
I had a fantastic time.
Oh, my God. Sweet.
The weather was gorgeous.
Weather was perfect.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Speaking of good weather, I looked at the forecast briefly yesterday when it was raining. Because, dude, we need rain.
Needed it.
We
Yes.
needed rain
Yeah.
real bad. My
We
lawn
did.
is just about totally and completely fucking dead.
There
she
has.
is.
This September's the driest month of the year for Columbus, Ohio.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
A lot of people would say it'd be August. September followed by February.
February is?
Yeah, it's weird.
That is kind of crazy. Okay, so I looked at kind of briefly like the 7-day forecast. There are 3 of them. And I saw that we are possibly in for some good weather this weekend. Cruisers FC taking on the Bridgeview Fire.
Yep.
Alex Thomas, you are the weatherman.
7:30.
7:30
Saturday night.
kick.
It's going to be gorgeous, man. We're talking like mid to high 70s for most of the day when everybody's out in the lot. Winds out of the east at like 8 miles an hour, so that's not a big deal. Oh, it's nothing at all.
Nothing.
It's going to be gorgeous, man. And then no rain. So
Are we talking like mid-70s at kickoff?
Mid-70s at kickoff and around 70 to high 60s when the game ends. So anybody that gets a little chilly, maybe you've been out in the lot all day and you've been, your sunburn or whatever, you're going to be potential for being a little chilly. So we might be getting to the point where we're bringing like a hoodie or a little zip-up with us for the end of the game.
Are we almost to jeans weather?
We're getting there.
They're about to call me a J baby.
Yeah, we are. And I saw the it's not the NOAA long-term outlook, but I saw the Farmer's Almanac outlook, and they said we're set for a very, very cold winter and a prolonged winter. So that's not fantastic.
Wait, how do I go about changing that?
How do we go about not doing that?
I don't want it.
Well, the part that I read that I really, really didn't like is the fact that they're predicting that it will linger longer into the spring than normal. So with potentially the new MLS like schedule setup, it's going to be really freaking cold for our first couple games. I know that's a long way away, so we'll deal with that when we get there.
But I don't want that.
I don't either. Yeah. But this is our second to last home game.
Yeah. This is our last Saturday home game of the year.
So enjoy it, because that last one's just going to be like a token whatever. Like,
I'm going to get so drunk, Alex, you can't even, and you won't even. And
I probably won't even, yeah.
I won't let you. But if we do it just as friends, and then,
Well, then maybe we'll let each other.
We'll talk to each other about it.
I'll let you know when I'm in there.
Why don't we meet inside of ourselves
as friends
7:15,
and we'll talk about it.
Okay, all right, yeah.
That sounds good.
Why don't you, in case Cassandra doesn't stick around for, and her name was Cassandra.
She's a busy lady.
If she doesn't stick around for segment 3, why don't you give us a score prediction?
Oh, against the
fighting Schweine babies.
The
Schweine
babes?
S boys.
I think the crew's feeling their swagger, man. I think they're feeling their oats. So I'm going to go. I think it'll be a high-scoring affair. I'm going to go 3-2. Good guys.
You think that the Crew are feeling their oats?
I think they've got the oats in their hands. They're probably squeezing them right now.
Oh.
I think they might. Honestly, they might milk their oats on Saturday.
Oh, is that good?
Well, we'll see.
Well, I said, oh no, like that probably. That's not.
Never
good.
had your oats milked?
No. Ladies and gentlemen, got to give it up. Alex Thomas with Alex, thank you for stopping by.
Oh my God,
what a
dude,
treat!
My treat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Thomas.
Smoke weed every day.
Holy shit! I won't talk about what we just talked about off the air. First of all, I refuse to believe that J Baby is a slur.
Well, remember when you didn't know what a T-boy was?
I do remember that.
Okay.
And then the next day I figured it out, and I apologized to you and John.
And you were like, I really wish that I had
Well,
known
I didn't
that.
know what it was, dude. I just thought I was a T-boy. I thought I was a T-baby. Now I think I'm a J-baby. Okay, there are people in this room, I'm not going to name their names, but they think that there's like an anti-Semitic thing here where I say I'm a hot J-baby, and I can tell you that there's not. No one's laughing. Fantastic. Cruisers FC taking on Chicago Fire this weekend. But before they do, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go to Nate Beckman, who is a true J-baby. True J-lad, as they call him on the streets. His big soccer username is J-boy. J-boy69, 420. That's a sad, that's like an instant messenger username. How dare you? Set your away messages, lads, and listen to this forecaster from Nate in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, easy.
Do you know what I need?
What?
I need my crew bracelet.
Your crew bracelet?
Yeah.
Where is it?
In my room, in my bag.
Well, but it's the radio, so they can't see your crew bracelet. You describe it. What does your crew bracelet look like?
Yellow, and it says crew.
All right. Okay. No, I didn't record that, Belch.
Nope.
All right, we're recording now. I'm here with the Yogurt Twins. This is the forecaster for August 26th, 2019. Well done. Since the Crew won and they had a lot of help, it's possible that they still make the playoffs. And I mean, if they win 5 games in a row, their final 5 games. If they win 4 of their final 5 games, it's like a 50-50 shot. Okay, that's enough. So this weekend, while the Crew are hosting Chicago at home at 7:30, DC plays at Montreal, Toronto plays at New England. We want DC to win, and we want Toronto and New England to tie. At 10:30 that night, Orlando's in San Jose. They should get crushed. That would be good. What is your new favorite flavor of Yogurt Twin number 1? Go ahead.
My yogurt favorite is banana and cream.
Okay. Yogurt Twin number 2. What is the most amount of yogurt you've ever eaten in one sitting?
Blueberry.
Okay, but how many in a row? If you had those little yogurt containers, how many would you eat if you could eat as many as you wanted?
3.
That's a lot. Yeah, what?
Yogurt. My song.
You want to sing a song?
My popular song that I like.
What is the current popular song that you like?
My current popular song that I like is Billy
What? Are you going to sing it?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
Don't yell, just sing.
Booty doo 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 doo. It's a party doo doo doo.
Okay, something about booty, toots, and potty. Rock on. Later.
Jesus Christ. Nate Beckman.
Wait, is that it?
That was it.
I mean, that does basically sum up our playoff chances. Booty toots.
Booty toots. Oh, man.
You win
Camila.
all 5 games in a row, you have a 50-50 shot.
Camille and Oliver. What 2 top lads, Drabs, as they say in the industry. Cruisers FC taking on the Bridgeview Fire. According to Nate, there is some sort of mathematical possibility that we make the playoffs. Now, I don't buy it, but your thoughts on the upcoming match, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, that's a continuing thing. We're not mathematically eliminated much in the way that, say, like a Pete Buttigieg is not yet mathematically eliminated from the presidency. Like, he's not going to win. Oh, wait, what's happening? Mark Sharp is writing on napkins.
He's
these
writing
days,
the
so.
thing that Nate literally just said.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. This is one of those you would have to win out and get a shit ton of help, and that's not how MLS really works. This is feeling vaguely reminiscent of the 2016 season where we were trying to kind of justify ways that it could be possible to get into the playoffs when really our season was done long before it was mathematically over.
We had a way better chance then.
Get the fuck out.
There was a way better chance in 16. There were fewer.
There was a
teams
better
ahead.
chance then.
Yeah,
Okay, I see
there were
what you're
fewer
saying.
teams ahead of us. We needed less help.
Yeah, that's the realistic thing. Like, you can say it's mathematically possible, but it's not going to happen, and that's okay. And the thing is, I will say I'm not in a like play the kids mode because first of all we've played our kids this season. I think you're in a play every game to win, which is of course how you should approach every game. But this whole like, Cincinnati was a pride game, it was a must win because no, just play because it matters and because you're professional players and you want to win for your team and you want something to build on and you want Columbus to come to your games and be proud of you. That's what it needs to be. This is the last time we will play the Bridgeview Fire.
That's true.
We will have one less reason to mock them next season. We'll still have plenty of reasons, but there'll be one less. And that will be that they will no longer be playing in Bridgeview. They will be the actual Chicago Fire in Soldier Field. So send them back to that shitty fishing village with a loss. They actually have more points than we do in the last 5 games. They are 3 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties. So you could say they're on a bit of a hot streak, but they're not good on the road because MLS. I'm a little worried that there could be too much of a high from the Cincinnati game. If this were mid-season, you'd call it a trap game. I don't know that it matters at this point to call it a trap game because, again, shit's over. But this is a game you have to maintain that level that you brought on Sunday.
Yeah.
This is a team you want to beat, even though they used to be what a lot of people consider to be our primary rival. You still want to beat them. You want to make a point. You want to finish strong. This is a way to do it. So you beat the cellar dweller, beat somebody who's slightly better now.
I agree. Cassandra Ferris, your thoughts on the upcoming match, my friend?
I'm cautiously optimistic about how we'll do at this game. To add on to Darb's point, it doesn't really matter except for the pride of actually doing your damn job and trying to play soccer the best that you can. I am this year squarely on the team of I'll forgive a lot that happens on the field because the community and the team is still here.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to put up with a lot this year.
It is an excusable regular season.
It is an excusable regular season.
In the mind of a lot of fans.
Yeah. And I am one of them.
I am too.
My people are still here. I can still go to games. Next year better be better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brett Miller.
I know a lot of people are raising the bar of expectation after Cincinnati. Oh, yeah, we're in form. This is what the team's going to look like from now on. I'm not to that point yet. We've seen the team come back and play a few games pretty well and then backslide into the crap form that saw us lose like 20 games in a row. So I'm not going to say that they're there yet. Chicago's a better team than Cincinnati. They're not great, but they're better than us and Cincinnati this year.
I agree with that. I would say, however, if you're looking at specifics about are they better than Cincinnati, I would say that, or are they worse than Cincinnati, I would say they are worse on the road than Cincinnati. Cincinnati has 2 wins this year. Chicago has 1 road win. They were 1-10-3 on the road.
1-10-3. So not only do they not win on the road, they
don't even
lose
draw
on the road.
That's
They
right.
lose a lot on the road.
Chicago Fire 1-10-3 on the road. However, they are 7-2-6 at home. This is the very.
So they're destroying their literal only advantage in the league.
They are hot and cold to a fault. So, I mean, Firehouse East, right? Like that's what they say.
Right.
Let's see if.
I mean, they say it when they
still,
tie.
realistically in contention for a playoff spot. they have something to play for. We don't.
Yeah. Well, no. Let's do that spoiler thing, right?
That was going to be my point.
Yeah. Just
let's
fucking
see how
ruin
many
everybody
teams
else's
that
chances.
we can knock out.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a race for 8th place. Like Toronto FC is going to be the 7th spot in the East. There's a race for 8th place between ourselves, FC Fuss Lads, which that's
they're
over.
not in the race. No.
Chicago Fire, Orlando City, and Montreal Impact. Yeah, right.
Oh no, Cincinnati is running away with that.
Cincinnati's
fucking
18 points. It's
You
not
love to see that.
mathematically still possible, but.
It's
Montreal,
the same as
Orlando sitting on 34 points, Chicago Fire sitting on 33, Columbus Crew sitting on 30. Back to this game this week, Chicago has one win on the road. And I'm not saying that we are unbeatable at home. Clearly we're not. We have 6 losses as compared to 5 wins at home and 4 ties. However, this is a Crew team that's playing probably their best ball of the year, and regardless of how shitty we've been in the first part of the year, I think that we're building towards 2020 and 2021, so we sure as shit better show up. Now, Jonathan Mensah being suspended for yellow card accumulation is going to be shit bag awful. Waylon Francis, soft tissue injury, so we're looking at another Connor Maloney start. Oh, they're always trying to steal me Lucky Charms.
Yeah, but Caleb's pretty high on him.
Yeah, okay, so but honestly, what center backs we have left? We have Alex.
Will Keita be available?
And we have perhaps Booba. So hopefully no one gets red carded, hopefully no one gets hurt, or we're Eddie Gavin's in goal, kind of that kind of situation again. Let's go around the Latin term for podcast host, and that is table. Get our predictions out of the way. Drabs, we start with you. Your predictions for Cruisers FC at home against the Bridgeview Fire.
All right. As the people on Periscope can clearly see from this very large and informative piece of paper, I have Columbus scoring 1 goal, whoever the Crew is playing scoring 0 goals. Ooh. Hashtag last time Bridgeview comes inside us. Hashtag but not the last time we come inside them.
You hate to see it, but it feels nice. Cassandra Ferris, you're predicting for the guests.
All right, I have Crew 2, Bridgeview 1. And hashtag salty horses feeling their oats. Hashtag hell is real hangover. And hashtag why don't you make it bigger?
That sucks. Because
Morgan, why don't you make it bigger?
She says it every night to me. Brent Mill, you're predicting for Sean Sitar, who is the big mover in the standings last week. Why don't you go ahead and see if we can keep that hot boy?
Why don't you ruin
going.
him? Why don't you predict a really unlikely result?
Let's get that hot boy party.
Crew 10, Bridgeview 0. Not really, that's a joke. I said Crew 2, Bridgeview 3. Hashtag no playoffs for us. Hashtag Bridgeview winning in Columbus.
You have Bridgeview hanging 3 on us at home?
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It wouldn't shock me, but that's a bold fanboy prediction.
Our defense has been garbage.
Couldn't you predict like 2-1 so that the outcome was likely to be flipped and John would lose 15 points?
Speaking of flipping outcomes, Drabs, I wish that I predicted 1-0 Crew, but I, in fact, predicted Crew 3. Bridgeview 2.
So this just got a lot more
so now I have. No, actually, I don't want either one of those to come right.
I think that you're right. I think it's a 1-0 victory. This is going to be a lame fucking nothingness game. I do have one hashtag, and it says little tiny hot bitch boy.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm falling victim to the gambler's fallacy this week.
Yeah.
I think Room eventually has to have a shutout.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that says this game has to be it. And in fact, there's nothing statistically that says he ever has to get a shutout. But I'm going to still embrace the bullshit that is.
I think you're right. Honestly, I would say thank you very much. That was left-handed too. I'd say 1-0 is probably the most out. This is going to be a disappointing Saturday, beautiful weather. No one fucking does anything. I'd love it.
It's probably going to be a Bridgeview own goal if we're honest.
That's fine.
In the 82nd minute.
Fuck it. We're in this stretch of rivalry games with Cincinnati twice and Toronto once and Chicago once and
is that a rivalry though?
Away at NYCFC, whatever you want to call it.
Toronto.
Okay, there's a cup at
They're
stake,
assholes,
bitch.
and I get satisfaction out of beating them in Columbus in particular because their fans are assholes.
Yeah.
Fucking Trillium.
And also booing Michael Bradley and making him get butthurt.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We didn't ever cover that because we didn't do a show, but like anytime he touches the ball is the right time to boo him.
Yes.
Right.
And if you don't like it, Will Trapp, and if you don't like it, Josh Williams, like maybe talk to your boy about apologizing to us.
And if you also get upset about profanity directed at Michael Bradley,
give me a
why don't you get on the anti-Wings of an Eagle train with me? That's right, Will Trapp and Josh Williams. Get on the holier than thou Wings of an Eagle is a bullshit chant train.
No one wants that. The whole thing about that, Drabs, is that no one wants it. And
no one wants that chant, you're right.
Yeah. Anyone else got any hot boy stuff? It's a hot boy party. You want to know about it?
No.
Tell us.
I don't know about your hot boy party.
Any volunteer opportunities?
Yeah, actually, September 7th. We're going back to the
Van Buren Shelter.
Van Buren Shelter.
That's right.
There are sign-ups, so the Nordec Twitter account's been retweeting it, so go find the sign-up and get your ass signed up there. It's been a while since we've done this, so keep it going.
Benevolent Overlord sponsors.
Are you not going to
all of
ask
the-
what GCG Bank has going on?
What, is there a thing?
They're cooking up some steak and chimichurri for the tailgate.
What does that have to do with Bridgeview? I mean, don't get me wrong, I want some steak and chimichurri, but...
Actually, I got a nice letter from the Van Buren Shelter. The Columbus Foundation made a $7,500 donation.
In the spirit of Columbus. Yeah.
In our name to the Van Buren Shelter.
And they sent a letter to you?
Yes.
God, I hate you so fucking much. When the Van Buren Shelter's like, thank you, Morgan, for getting us money from the Columbus Foundation.
Doug Kreidler is one of the people that
Son
thinks
of
that
a
Save the Crew is
bitch.
just me, and I love it. On behalf of all of us, go
Hate
fuck
you so
yourself,
much.
you hot boys.
Everybody does, Darby.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us laid.
Dude, don't pretend like you're busy working or something, dude. You know you're in bed, just watching PlayStation or something like that.
That's the word on the street.